with the old Dronetek, and you know, I kind of hyped this up a little bit more than probably what it's actually worth, but here we go. We have our usual Discord panel, plus it looks like a few new faces. We have, and I'm gonna let people introduce themselves this time. I haven't been doing that, but hey, we'll go ahead. You know what? Here's the rules. Actually, I don't know if anybody can actually. Here, hold on. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Everybody, we're live. I was just telling everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and let people who are in Discord introduce themselves. 1 second. Let me make sure I'm transmitting. I am. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody in Discord introduce themselves as long as they have their camera on. And I was delaying there a bit because I actually have to fix the speakers for you guys so people can hear you. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Come on, Steve. Dance. Put your bikinis on. Get the cameras going. Riddle.
So we're gonna start. Hold on. Before everybody starts talking, hold on, because they can hear you. We are gonna talk tonight about police officers being weaponized against the left's opponents, which sounds crazy, right? But it kind of seems like it's happening, especially since after the whole BLM riot thing. And it's not just happening in America. It seems to be happening in Canada and the UK. We're seeing all these crazy videos of people who say things that the left does not like having the full force of the law come at them. We've seen that with the J6 people. There's many examples, and I think we should all talk about them. Oh, good. We got Liberal Cluck. I was going to put you in the title, but I didn't know for sure if you were coming, so I didn't want to do that. Maybe I'll edit it, but glad to see you here. Let's go ahead and start with Tyler, and we'll just go down the aisle here for everybody that's on camera. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
What's up? Average Debate Enjoyer is my YouTube channel. It's shit. I hired an editor. It's under construction. I'm coming back strong with I got like 30 scripts going. So if you look at it now and you're like, wow, this video quality sucks, I agree with you. Otherwise, I just love debating. So I'm here to debate whatever the fuck you put in front of me.
Right. Nice. Like a true debater. Thanks. Go ahead, Cluck. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him?
He's got his mute on. Your Discord is muted.
You're muted.
You got to unmute him.
Is he muted? Did I mute him?
No, it's me. It was me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Liberal Cluck. I am in the same boat as Tyler. I have a channel and everything, but it all sucks, except I do not have an editor. Yeah, I'm just basically here because I like debating. Nice.
Thanks, man. And actually, RW is the official moderator. I don't know why well, it's my channel, so I kind of took it over there. But I'm going to let RW introduce himself, and then he could take over.
You were doing so good, man. I was just back. I'm RW. I'm here because I enjoy this group, and I think my job is to help people communicate on both sides of the fence so that good conversations happen instead of turd fights. And that's all I got.
Yeah. Nice.
As
okay,
for running the show, you sure you don't want to do it, man?
Hold on. Can I just really quickly call out that we have actually some really cool person in our group right now in the Discord channel. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's Flip City in here. That's I think Flip City Comics. They're a hilarious comic, political satire comic, and they're in our Discord. That's pretty cool. I don't know if
I'll have to pay attention to that.
I don't think they're going to say anything. I don't know if they're going to say anything. You're very welcome to, whoever's there. But thanks for joining us.
I'll just say hello. Flip City Magazine, hello. I didn't even know what I was walking into. So I guess I'm here to watch.
Nice. Well, thanks for
at you all.
We would totally appreciate any of your stuff you want to share in the user art or memes or anything. And when me and Dronetek work on stuff during the day, I'll try and pay attention to what you create. So, because
they actually publish comment like Mad TV kind of not Mad Magazine style like comics, but political.
Yes, I'll drop all kinds of art on you guys.
Yeah, Flip City, if you want to jump in at any point and tell me how smart and correct I am, feel free. Also, the DMs are open.
Thank you, Tyler. Riddle's on cam and Steve's on cam.
Oh yeah, Riddle, do you want to introduce yourself? You're muted.
Only if you unmute. Only if you unmute your mic.
Sorry about that. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I'm Riddle, just some random guy actually. So, but I just find this this topic enjoyable, and honestly, any topic that we all get together to talk about, for the most part, except for overly done January 6th topics, stuff like that. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm willing to talk about it. Even if I don't know much about it, I'll still ask questions that might be annoying to people. But yeah, it's fun. So let's do this.
So, oh, and there's Smoke Steve. Hey, Steve, welcome, buddy.
Let's get a sword.
Plug. After you unmute. Okay.
Hello, I am Smoke Steve. That's it.
Oh,
Did
don't
you
be
have
bad.
a stream weekly, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, I do on Saturday nights. You know, I don't want to shill it out over here, but yeah, thank you. Come check it out if you want. Saturday night channel called Smoke Steve. Starts around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's a pub setting where we all just hang out and chat. Sometimes we debate, sometimes not. Thank you.
I vouch.
Okay, so
Good show.
So, I think I don't know who agrees and doesn't agree here, but let me just start this off real quick with what kind of inspired me to put this even on the poll in our Discord, because we take polls every week, by the way, on what we're going to debate on Thursday night. So if you come to our Discord, there's actually a channel for that, and you can vote, and we'll talk about it. But I actually put up there, or I didn't put up there, RW did, police interaction with civilians, and it occurred to me, I don't know how many of you guys have seen this yet, and I'll play it for everybody, but the Rebel News, one of the Rebel News reporters was trying to interview a left-wing Canadian politician, and this plainclothes police officer acting as security for this politician literally just like set up a pick in front of him, and when he just kept walking, they then arrested him. So since then he was released and they dropped the charges. Okay, but just the fact that this happened at all is BS, and it reminds me so much of what I see every single day in these First Amendment audit videos. The police in America and Canada, and it seems like a lot of Western countries, is kind of messed up, and it seems to be geared and being aligned towards opponents of what we would call maybe the, I don't know, progressive agenda, or I don't know what we would call it, but it seems to have been pointed towards that group now ever since the BLM riots. I don't know how many of you agree, but let me at least post this one video. I might play some more later to put this more in context. Let me play this, and I'll make it so everybody can see it in the Discord. 1 second. There we go. And here we go.
A terrorist group. Why is your government supporting Islamo-Nazis? What? Excuse me. What are you doing?
You're under arrest for assault. Why are you pushing me? You're under arrest for assault. You're under arrest for assault. Police, you're under arrest for assault.
Look at the deranged look on this guy right here, this cop.
I got my credentials here, and you
They all have that look, man. All the guys like this. It's ego run amok.
What's your name in your badge? What is your name in your badge?
You've been told you're under arrest.
Why am I under arrest?
This is crazy, man.
He blocked my way.
Think about like what you're looking at here. It's crazy.
Christian Freeland.
I'm a police officer. You're under arrest.
What is your name and your badge number?
For assault?
How is that possible?
Okay, because
You assaulted me 3 years ago.
Right. That's the way it looked to me too.
You mean I was asking questions aggressively?
no, your actions were. You were almost pushing everybody over. That's how it appears.
Lincoln, you got this on video, right? He's saying I'm pushing people over. That's an absolute falsehood.
There were feet were shuffling.
So now it appeared that way. That's what you're saying, officer. It appeared I was pushing people. I didn't touch a single person.
That was a little bit aggressive for what was happening. Get that. You're under arrest. Please
Okay.
take the microphone out of my face.
Well, I'd like an ongoing record of this.
We've decided you're under arrest because we don't like you.
Can I have the microphone?
Look at this shit. This is crazy, man. Okay, so he continues to like question them as They arrest him, and he basically, you know, lays it all out. They're arresting me because I was going after this politician, and Trudeau, he calls him blackface. Hold on, let me see. Let me put it up here.
I was merely scrumming Minister Freeland, and a RCMP officer blocked me, and evidently this is now a trumped-up charge of assault, folks. I didn't come here to cause any trouble. I came here to do my job, and now I'm handcuffed. This is your Canada now, folks. You know, this is the Gestapo taking blackface's orders.
Blackface. He just calls him blackface, Trudeau. So anyway, what do y'all think of that? Let me hear what y'all think. I'm curious.
I watched the beginning of that clip quite a few times, and I was trying to see how much he bumped into him when the cop stood in his way. I think that, I mean, me and Dance were talking about that, like charging in basketball. He rushed against him, from what I can remember, as the most had happened, and then that being trumped up to a assault charge is insane. And even if I was joking, like even in basketball, the cop would have had to have planted feet and be knocked over for it to be a break in the rules. So I don't know. It's extreme. It's extremely out of place.
I mean, it was obviously a setup, and because it was filmed, it never stood a chance of standing.
Right,
I don't
always
know the
film.
laws.
If you get involved
Yeah.
with the police, pull out your phone and start filming. 1000%.
They knew they were being filmed. They knew it was all on film, and they still said exactly what they said.
I
Like,
know.
You're just like,
It's
why are you
crazy,
even
isn't it?
falling on your sword right now? Like, what's up?
No, I'm with you.
I would say that since it didn't stick, or they didn't charge anything, that all they wanted to do at the moment was just stop the what they considered a harassment, so they didn't get anything on them and make the politician look bad. So they were willing to make themselves look bad as opposed to the politician. That's my only opinion on why they were so willing to stick with that.
Right, but you
Running
see that a
or-
lot.
Or it's Canadian law. I don't know.
Well, they actually have they don't have a First Amendment, but they do have pretty similar laws to ours. And they have a similar...
They don't have a Second Amendment either.
Right, and they do have a sort of Bill of Rights and a sort of Constitution that's similar to ours, which does grant similar rights. And so that's why they didn't charge them. But what I'm seeing here is a trend throughout the Western nations where this seemed, ever since the BLM riots, this seems to be happening more and more. And it would not surprise me that they've sifted through and gotten rid of all the people who might be right-leaning or sympathetic to people on the right. And what you have left are people who are either non-political and easily malleable, or people who are political and hate the right. And they're putting them in those positions, and they're going to use them because you're seeing this more and more. It's happening way too much to be just a coincidence. Don't you agree? And especially it's not just these First Amendment audits. There are things that have happened that are not related to First Amendment audits that are very similar, where you have like a journalist, they're just trying to do their job, and these police don't know the laws, don't know the difference between public and private property, which is weird. They don't know these things. They take an oath to the Constitution, yet they don't know what basic rights are. They don't know what there are people who go around and just ask police what the First Amendment are. You would not believe how many do not. They have no idea. It's clear they don't know. What's up with that?
Can I ask what you're comparing this to, though? Is there an era of golden age policing where we saw a lack of misconduct? Because I would argue if you roll us back 30 years before body cam, it was way worse. And if you roll us back to what the cops call the good old days 100 years ago, it was way worse. I would argue we probably have the most transparent and up-to-date legal system that humans have ever been able to conceive. And the only problem right now are the individual, which I watch a lot of audit videos too. If you watch Audit the Audit, you'll get to see both sides of it.
Yeah,
a lot of
I
times
agree. That's
the
a great
police
one.
a lot of times the police are in the right and the people are in the wrong.
Sometimes, but what really bothers me about a lot of these videos, and you're right, there are a lot of times when the people are in the wrong, but you notice a lot of times when that happens, it's really people who, it seems like they don't know. I know that like big ones have gotten in trouble, like Long Island Audit and even Erie County when you look into these things, it's really trumped up, and it really far more often it seems like it's the police who do not know the laws, and they all have this ego like they know everything, and they don't know shit. Like even basic stuff.
These are just enforcers. They're low level people on the street. I mean,
feelings enforcers.
If you put a higher, think of it just more of an economic perspective. If you put a higher criteria of becoming an officer on just based on a pure economic rules, you're going to get less people able to take that job. It might filter out people that are ignorant to the law, sure, but it also might filter out people that are better at the job generally, despite being a little more ignorant of the law. So to open that up, to remove these barriers to entry, would allow you to have a larger pool of people to choose from to be police. And I would argue being a good person is probably a higher thing for a police officer to have than a full understanding of the law.
Can I show you something real quick? There was recently, just so you know, like, I just want to show how this isn't just like, it doesn't just happen to otters, it happens to actual, like, certified reporters or whatever you want to call it. Shit, I gotta find it here now. But it does happen to them, and you've seen more and more actual U.S. reporters posting these videos where they're trying to get to some public official or something, and the police are unlawfully blocking them, just acting as, like you just said, like enforcers.
I do also kind of want to address the partisan point you brought up as well. I don't think it's something you're doing intentionally, but I do think it's sampling bias. A lot of police in the United States are in positions where their leaders are elected by the voters. And in blue areas or red areas, you're going to get people that have a certain philosophy on the world, put in certain laws, prosecute certain laws, tell their police officers to look the other way for certain things, like maybe homelessness or maybe knowingly giving somebody AIDS, like in California where they decriminalize that. And you heard me. Yep. But you're gonna have certain segments of the country that push their values into the law. I just think the sampling bias comes from the fact that, like, a lot of these areas where you see more press, cameras, and people are blue areas. But I guarantee you, most of the country, landmass wise, probably sides with law enforcement that would more represent what you like.
Well, I don't think that, like, this is evidence at all that this guy was treated that way because of his political leanings, which is the implication here, right?
Right. Well, Rebel Media is a highly demonized, and that's another thing I want to get into. Was I was really surprised by the amount of these, like, big Canadian Twitter accounts that came out in support of the police and against Rebel Media, because it's like the kind of thing I'm always talking about, how left-wingers are dangerous because they can always kind of rationalize any action. And here we see the same thing again in Canada, where all these left-wing accounts are supporting the police, obviously intentionally setting up a situation where they can stop this reporter from asking questions that this politician doesn't want to ask in public, and he had every right to ask her. You see the same tactics used here in America by the police.
Jesus. Drone, have you seen the video released by Canadian police warning people not to release
Yes, I had it up.
Camera footage of porch pirates because you can be prosecuted for, like, some level of defamation or of an innocent, presumed innocent person or some shit? I mean,
yeah, I have it right here. If you guys want to watch, I'll play it real quick. I was going to play it, so it's ready to go right now.
Police are urging Quebecers to not post
the moon, man. Jeez.
Hold on, I'm gonna play it real quick.
Wait, is it relevant to the idea that the
police are being turned against? They're being turned against. On one hand, yes, they are being turned against opponents of the left, but overall, they are being turned against the people in general. So I feel like this is a thing the left and right should be able to get together on, and that's why I'm trying to tie that knot here.
It's just Canada. I don't know enough about Canada.
No, it's not just Canada though. Like this is happening in Canada. But
Dronetek, I look up something like reporter being assaulted by police, and there's plenty of videos, and they're not all right wing videos of reporters.
No, I agree. I was. That's why
I
hold on, Cluck. This is why I specifically said this seems to be a thing that's happening more and more since the BLM riots.
Like, so in general, this isn't like this is happening to the right and it's a left-wing ploy. This isn't what you're implying right now?
Well, I'm not saying it's a left-wing ploy. I'm saying that during the BLM riots, the left was able to get a grip on police departments. Yes, and as well as they got a grip on the military. They're getting all of our institutions. They basically have everything now except for the Supreme Court. But yeah.
Wait, so you're saying that the left has a grip on the police, so now they're attacking reporters?
They're attacking opposition reporters, yes.
So the right-wing reporters, even though I've got video of the police also attacking left-wing.
Which happened when?
There was a whole.
No. Right. I'm not. No, wait. There was. Hold on. I'm not totally disagreeing with you because I just told you that I have seen some other. I was just talking about that there are other videos of other reporters who I don't know their political leanings. It's not like totally obvious, but the police employing the same sort of tactics recently when it's like a situation where they're trying to interview like a mayor or like a governor or something like that, including Republicans using police to do that. Actually,
don't let a partisan side hold you back.
Nikki Haley just did it, didn't she?
Okay, so I'm confused about what the claim is. It's a lot of.
Well, I just disproved my own claim. All right, folks. Good night. I'm sorry. What?
All right, we can move on to the next one. So the original conversation was based around the experience of civilians and cops interacting with each other, and it wasn't based on left or right. The title made it a little more spicy.
Right. I needed to clickbait people in here. Haha, gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch. So if you want to bring up like any examples of cops and civilians interacting on, for the cop side or for the civilian side, totally, man. It's all fair play.
Yeah, because I do think there's something going on. I really do. And I don't necessarily think it's political, although I do think there are, it seems like a lot more instances popping up now of the law enforcement being used against opponents of the left more than what we saw before. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just I'm paying more attention to that than others, although I do see it happening on both sides, which is what I want to talk about. So what do you guys think? I do. See, real quick, I'll just say this. Police are definitely undertrained. They do not know very basic things. They take an oath to the Constitution, yet they don't understand that like somebody can record in public and it's not a crime. And if they don't want to give their ID to that cop, they can't just arrest them for obstructing an investigation or some bullshit like that. So too many police think they can do that kind of thing.
Well, I don't think it's just undertrained. I think that public servants all across the country are having trouble, institutions are having trouble getting people to even work for them. So they are having to settle for lower and lower quality people. You see it in the DOC, you see it on Border Patrol. I was doing research on how they're having trouble getting Border Patrol agents. It's all over with all law enforcement institutions.
So why is that happening?
We have the mechanisms in place to deal with this. We have civil courts, civil lawyers, all sorts of shit to deal with it. The police stations get sued all the time. Again, if you look back 60 years from now, police officers would take somebody that gave them a bad attitude out and beat the shit out of them. That doesn't happen anymore. Now we have some dumb, underpaid cop that don't understand the exact laws they're supposed to be.
You know what would be, you know what I think would be actually really good is if we got really good quality people, we train them, make sure they're very trained in people's rights, and then those people could go out and yeah, they're gonna have to deal with bad people, but they have to be able to distinguish between actual bad people and people who are.
I agree. And the good way,
I think we should equity hire.
The way to get good people is to pay them, and that means your tax dollars go up. So are you willing to pay more money in taxes to have higher quality, higher paid police?
But
and that's something,
But do you think it's a profession that's like, it's beyond, like, it's going to be corrupted? The people who do that job are going to be corrupted just because, I mean, think about any of you people who have done customer service. Okay. I worked customer service a good chunk of my life and it made me hate humanity. Now I just try to think of myself if I was a police officer. Like, what would I think of people then? And then you have power to do something about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a position that's like, you're going to become corrupted no matter what.
I can't wait for that video.
Yeah, are you ready for a pretty brutal video?
I'm ready
Okay.
for a video. I just want to make the point that I don't believe all cops are bastards at all. I'm not coming at this in any way, shape, or form that it's an absolute, because I have interacted with some amazing cops that will give their life to do what they joined the force for. So I just want to put my 2 cents in there.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people get into the police force for good reasons. Sometimes they end up tired, they just burn out, and they end up mistreating people because they're taking out frustrations on the wrong people. I mean, it happens in DOC
Right. That's
also.
what I'm saying. It's like you give these people this power, and then they're just having a bad day, and they know that most people don't know their rights. And like I just watched a video today where the officers are piling up like 9 people on a guy on a bike because he doesn't want to give up his ID because he was trying to pump up his tires at night at a place, and they're like, all these cops swarm, they're demanding his ID. He's like, no, I didn't do anything. But they're like, oh, he's like, so he's like, what's your suspicion of crime that you want my ID? And they say, well, you're suspicious. He's like, that's not a crime. They're like, but you have to give us your ID, and if you don't, that's suspicious. And he's like, if I stand up for my rights, that's suspicious. You see where
honestly, the time to fight that is in court, in civil court,
No,
after
I disagree.
they violate your rights.
I disagree. Because when you give into that, you're just like, your rights are decaying over time. They're atrophying.
Yeah, but they get in trouble after that. They have to go to the classes or whatever. I really want to see this.
No, but they'll get in trouble if they violate your rights, and then you got a lawsuit. So no, you're better. I think you're better to stand up for your rights before the court.
Yeah, I think you could stand up for them. What you can't do is resist arrest.
No,
That's a
don't
very
resist
fine
arrest.
line.
Don't
Very
resist
fine
arrest
line.
ever.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that at all.
Personally, I say if
If they want to arrest you, let them, because they really are fucking themselves.
Yeah, you bait them into as much shit as you can get them to do. You get them to throw you on the ground. You get them to fucking cuff
Let
you,
them give
throw
up
you
their
in the cuff.
qualified immunity. You'll get their pensions.
But yeah, like, I wouldn't argue it on the street. You wait till that's the next step. And you take it to court.
No,
Show 'em who's
I
boss.
say stand up for your rights to the point that they want to violate them, and then let them do it.
Yeah. All right, let's watch a 9-year-old get pepper sprayed, please.
Yeah,
Just
so this
real-
one is
before you go, no, sorry, I'm letting you go.
really
But
want-
is there anything we have to do? Do we have to talk over this video or anything so we don't get flagged? Just as a question for
you
stream.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very. There's no gore or anything, but watching
Well,
a
no, I've seen
9-year-old girl
this.
get
No,
pepper
I know
sprayed
it's
very hard to
absurd.
do.
Yeah, it's absurd. Like, why would they do this?
We don't even have to watch the video. You can read the title, but these
Yeah,
these
like,
cops
why do we
way
have to
out of
watch
line.
it? Just the fact that they did it. We know it.
I
No,
wanna see
why?
it.
I'm
I
not
want
gonna-
to see this. I want to see this.
The reason
it
I
was gonna
picked this
be-
I'm
video
not gonna
is
show
because
it.
when
You guys can
when
play
this
it.
first came out, I did a video on it, and I just think this is like an example of particularly of how like cops can be bastards.
Just show the video.
Cops are
Show
great.
it. Go for it, man. Show it to the Discord. If you guys want to see it, come to the Discord. I'm not going to show it. You can hear it, I guess.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah.
Like, it's a 9-year-old. Why would you employ pepper spray? That's insane.
It's even worse than that because she was in the car at the time that they sprayed her.
Yeah.
I like how they're saying she's having a mental event.
See, this
But
is
being
why I
looked at
hate.
afar by cops could probably cause that.
This is why I hate that the media focuses in on examples that are not good examples, and they blow those up. When there's actually, like, there's good ones out there they should blow up that happen to people of all colors, but they don't want that. They're like so focused on a very certain like narrative. To the point where even if it doesn't fit it, they will make it fit, even if they have to lie.
Here, take this.
I'd just like to point
Like
out
they're
that
offering
this
her
happened
some a
in
gift.
New York.
I think he said deer with a D. D-E-A-R.
I guess that's better.
So one thing, if in the DOC, if you have to use pepper spray on a grown inmate, you immediately take them to get medical care. So the fact that they sprayed her and then just left her in the back of that car is fucking terrible.
Right, I agree.
understand pepper
There's
spray is
something
used
going
to
on with
calm
our
someone
police forces. It just seems like they're filling them the
taking
ranks with
advantage in a
idiots.
fight.
Yeah, to me, it's along the same lines as if you're getting bit to shit by some fucking dog, and they're like, "Stay calm, calm down, sir." You're like, it's biting my leg.
That's what that
Right.
video reminded me of.
Be calm, sir.
Like a dog running out and not even attacking.
It's tearing my intestines out. Get on the ground.
It's crazy.
It is, but see, what really turns me off is when people try to make it like a race issue. And look, I'm sure that there is a component there because obviously, if there's like this, basically a nationwide gang, if you want to look at it that way, there's probably going to be a good chunk of those that are like specifically like they hate black people, right? So like, I don't think that's completely off the mark, but I think that the issue isn't racial for the most part because I just see it happening to like so many like white people or anybody. Well, really, I don't see it ever happening to Asians for some reason, but it seems like white people and black people, you know, the cops really go after both groups.
It's because Asian people
at all. I see
it's
it being
because
an underfunding of cops and just them doing really retarded shit because of it.
Right, for sure. The cops just do a lot of dumb shit, and a lot of it is just ego. You see the same thing with just like regular people on the street. Like you see these auditors that go out and they just record in public, and just regular people come up and they act just like the police. It's weird. Like they act the exact same way. Like they have all this authority and they can order you around and they can assault you even because they don't want you to record or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just weird how like regular people take on that same mentality.
Sure is.
So are we done with this topic or?
That's authoritarianism.
We could
right.
talk
That's
about
what.
whether or not it's
Yeah.
a racial component. That would actually spark a bit of a debate, I think.
Well, I maybe there is. I would say there probably is to some degree, but it's an issue that really affects everybody because maybe, you know, whatever is leading to that is the same thing that's leading to what we're seeing in all these videos on YouTube.
I like watching videos where like police chiefs get pulled over drunk and then like ask for professional courtesy and get turned down because it shows you like that last bastion of police on police like camaraderie is going out the
Right.
window.
Yeah, and you'll see that a lot where police are doing things that are clearly not right and the other cops are going along with it. And that's why I think a big problem it's because it is sort of a gang, you know, and they're all together no matter what.
All right, so I gotta ask.
I would disagree with that across the nation. I don't think they're all
They
together.
used to call that the thin blue line.
Right,
Go ahead,
the thin blue line flag in itself is a desecration. I really don't agree with it. I used to, and I don't anymore. I can see the issue with it. The flag itself is almost like a gang sign. It separates them from everybody else, which they're already separated from us. They are like our overwatchers, almost like prison guards, you know? They almost act like that.
I would disagree on your interpretation of that.
Really? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
why?
absolutely. It's almost like a gang sign, like MS-13 or something like that. The ones that are
The thin blue line, American flag, absolutely. Yeah.
Wearing an Amazon hat here in
how is
USPS
that?
is a gang sign. I don't.
Well, for one, it goes against the U.S. code for the American flag. You cannot
Oh, really?
desecrate. Yeah.
So you think coloring it as opposed to burning it is a desecration?
Well, you're changing the meaning of it for one. Like the flag is supposed to unite us, and when you turn it black and white and put a thin blue line on it, you're making it like representative of something else, and especially when that group that it represents has a lot of force and authority over every other group. It's very divisive. It's very divisive.
American people. I'd say the exact opposite. I'd say
What?
they're saying that they're a part of the American people. That's why
No.
they're putting it in the American flag.
Oh, so just have the American flag then. That's
if
the
they-
flag
if they
unites us. What is the point? Tell me, what's the point of a flag?
Want to be with the
What's the
American
point of a
people,
flag?
They burn the fucking American flag like BLM, and then they just make an entirely new one that's all blue.
It's just like the freaking pride flag. It's like a separate flag to unite around. I don't like it.
It seems like an us against them thing to me.
It is. It's divisive, and the flag is, guys. The United States flag is supposed to unite us. Yes or no?
Yeah,
yes.
of course. But
So does everybody agree with the blue line flag? Did we all agree on that?
what do you mean agree on it?
That
Like,
doesn't prove your point whether we agree on it. or
Oh,
not. Of
it
course it's supposed
doesn't?
to unite people.
The-
No,
the-
yeah,
the-
exactly.
It's very
Look at-
divisive. Listen to
okay,
us.
so look at the media. Look at the media. You think they have a thing to rally around when the media's been demonizing them the entire time?
One
Come
second,
on.
Steve.
Yeah.
That's like
All right.
saying like my kid. Oh,
Yeah, just let Steve go and then take your turn.
I was just going to say the thin blue line has nothing to do with the American flag. Originally, it was a stick, an expression, and then it was made a sticker, or actually like a front license plate the undercover cops would put on their cars. And then the movie was made, and then people started making the American flag with the blue line on it, the red line on it, whatever. But the thin blue line, obviously, originally was the line was what separated the criminals of society to the law-abiding citizens, were the police. I mean, I don't know where the American flag part of it came in, but that was well after.
Well, it is the American flag. It's the American flag with it's black and white. I don't like the black and white American flag at all, period. Because it's like, what is that? Like, what's the point of that? But
I think it's showing that
but-
they've been there since like the beginning of America. Like they're an old institution almost. I think that's what it's supposed to mean, but maybe I'm
okay, well, I just like the American flag. I don't like the pride flag. I don't like the BLM flag. I don't like the blue line flag. I don't like the red line flag. I like the American flag.
BLM and the pride
And
flag are
public
so divided
officials
because
should
they're
not be
the
wearing a separate
American
flag.
That's the entire point of them. They're not the American flag. They're separating themselves from the American people. That's the entire point of why they are divisive.
Right. I don't like it. That like I don't make an argument for it.
Yeah, exactly. So if one group does it, then why can't the other? I don't understand.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't even say
If one group does it, why can't the other? Well, that's a pretty straightforward question.
If
Because
what one
has
group does
a
it?
flag that's divisive politically, like a rainbow
No,
flag,
but the police are a public entity. They should reflect the public.
So are our politicians, whom wear rainbow badges on.
Oh no, I agree. No, I agree with you there. I totally agree. I'm not disagreeing at all.
Well, a rainbow badge isn't a bastardized version of the American flag.
I mean, people should be able to wear and express themselves however they want to. But as far as public officials go, I think it's different. Yeah.
It may be okay. So what'd you say, Steve? You said it was like a bastardized.
Well, you said public officials wear rainbow badges. A rainbow badge wouldn't be a bastardized version of the American flag, being that it was not the original, meaning
Right.
the black and white, the blue line, the red line, whatever. But is there an American flag version that's rainbow? Maybe I'm not aware of that.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure. I'm sure it's.
I'm just against the pride flag just because it's fucking weird and culty and the way it keeps changing and morphing and all that.
But rainbows are great.
And the way they were.
Yeah, rainbows are cool.
They were.
Rainbows are still cool.
Hunter Biden.
Rainbows are still cool.
Yeah, damn right.
All right, so we're gonna talk about Hunter Biden.
Yeah, I thought that's what
So-
we were-
You shift away. Let me give a chance for
Hunter
the
Biden
note
did
that
crack.
Ashley
Crack
had.
is not good. Very bad.
So Ashley was making a point earlier. She said, look into the fact that the police, sheriff's department, and troopers are being armed by the federal government with free military-grade equipment to use against civilians. I don't have a source for that, but I just
No, it's true. It's true. All that equipment they're sending to Ukraine, they were giving to police departments.
I'm fine with that.
The anti-air missiles.
Not that stuff, like the
Air missiles.
Civilian
no,
drones.
no, like the MRAPs and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I'm fine with them having rifles.
and the Humvees and that stuff.
Problem with that.
I think
Is
they
an
absolutely
MRAP
need.
like a cliff bar?
Yeah, they need them.
They absolutely need rifles. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Hell no.
There you go, Ashley.
I don't think there's a problem with them having big armored vehicles either, because if there's a
They need more
fucking
tanks.
I'd put that to people who are more better trained, like SWAT, but like
There you
armored
go.
vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
I
like if
think
they're
that-
arming their police cars, I wouldn't care. That's fine. Yeah, sure.
I think the problem is that if you give it to them, they will use them, and not in ways that you didn't really want them to use them.
I haven't
They're
seen
e-
a single video where an officer has unfairly shot someone with an AR-15. If anyone wants to provide me with one, I'd be more than happy to.
Unfairly?
Just look at the Las Vegas hotel.
Unfairly? Really?
Justly, whatever you want to call it.
Do you want me to show you a video of that?
No. Forg, you need to specify
Actually,
that
no,
because
no,
no.
actually,
You need
no.
to specify unfairly because what he means is not unfairly, but intentionally unfairly.
Was it Las Vegas or Reno? Remember when that
Where the
guy got
was drunk on the
That-
ground?
the
Yeah,
drunk
I
guy?
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that right now, yeah. Where he pointed
He
a
got-
BB gun out the window, and then they brought him
Yep.
out, and they're like, "Crawl towards me, back."
Crawl towards me.
up,
Show me your
And then
hands.
they
Put
mowed
your
him
hands
down.
turn on your
down.
hand, up, down. Simon says.
I didn't say Simon says.
Yeah, then they killed him, right?
And then they killed him.
Right. That's just
Well,
the
there
guy
you go.
wanted to
There's
kill somebody. He's like, oh, this is my chance.
That's a legitimate
Didn't
example
say
for.
Simon says.
I mean, they've also destroyed people's houses with these armored personnel carriers.
Oh yeah,
Well,
there's so
the-
much. The no-knock
what I
warrants.
kinda
I mean,
meant
I
is-
don't like the no-knock warrants. I never have.
What I kind of
Okay,
meant
guys.
there is what would have gone differently if they had
Hold
a
on.
pistol instead of an AR. I don't think anything would have gone down differently.
Clock.
I'm going to tell you an example of really, really heinous abuse of police authority. I am playing Fable right now, and all I did was agree to not tell the wife that the husband is cheating on him, or her, and now the guard is mad at me. bullshit
You're
is
playing
that?
Fable?
Yes.
The first
That-
one?
That's so
Yes.
funny. That's so funny, man. I don't know why, but I just had this urge recently to play an MMO, and I was just asking RW about that. Like, what's the play out there? I don't even know. That's funny. You're playing Fable
if
though. I
you
played
start
that back in
playing
the
Told
day.
you what to do, man. Damn.
If you start playing New World, let me know.
He did give you a suggestion and
Isn't
you
that
didn't
the
listen.
Amazon game? New
It's a
World?
free
No, I
one, too, he
downloaded
said,
it.
right?
I did it. I downloaded it, installed it on my laptop upstairs. So
Are you sure you can
Hell
really
yeah.
tackle an MMO right now though?
Probably not.
You-
Probably not.
You can tackle this one.
Riot's
I-
supposed to be
I-
coming out with an MMO. People are pretty excited about that.
Last Dance, that's massively multiplayer online game. Is that right? I looked it up.
Correct. Yes, that's like World of Warcraft, that kind of game. I was thinking about playing New World because people were saying that it's good now and you can play it real casually. So I was thinking about that. I don't know.
Yeah, if you play New World, let me know. I've got a character on there that's barely been leveled up, so we could do
Yeah,
like, quests.
I've just been watching videos on it, and apparently it was awful, and it's gotten better, so I might try it. But so
Probably
should
not
we
as good
should we
as
get
Realm
into
Combat, though.
should we get into
so I
like
want
Hunter
to-
Biden and the double
Please.
standards and all that stuff?
Yeah, and
Sure.
you know what? I think that pepper spray was justified.
I think it was too.
Yeah,
That
you-
was out of place. She was a danger.
I'm just kidding, dude. You know what? It
Good
should have been
troll,
bear
good
mace. It should have been military grade bear mace. That's what it should have been.
And
They
they should have
shoulda-
tased her too.
They need our
Yeah,
armor.
And
should have
it
dropped
tastes-
a JDAM on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, liberal cluck. You gotta segue it into what you're after, man. You're
Yeah.
yawning, so do it.
Let me hear what you have to
I'm
say.
not the one making the affirmative claim here.
Okay, so I guess it's me. So we were arguing earlier over the fact that so Hunter Biden did this stunt yesterday, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday, and where he went to the vote to hold him in contempt for not showing up for his congressional subpoena, and he made a big stunt of it, and of course the media went along with it. They loved it, and I made a video about it, and that's par for the course because this all started. The whole modern era of ignoring congressional subpoenas started with Eric Holder, who was Barack Obama's attorney general, and that was over Fast and Furious. When Republicans tried to hold him in contempt for that, Democrats walked out of the vote and they made this big stunt of it. The media loved it at the time. They loved it, of course, because when Republicans do these things, it's just a political partisan stunt, and to mock it and to ignore it is what you should do. But when Democrats do it, it's totally different. The standards are completely different, and I just am curious how liberal cluck is going to defend that. Like you had Steve Bannon, who ignored his congressional subpoena, and then of course that was a huge bad thing. Raskin and all these other Democrats went in the media. I can play some videos where they basically said this is just how you're supposed to do it. Here, you want me to play one here real quick? Let me just play that. So essentially, they had one standard for Republicans, and there's another for Democrats, which is always how it seems to go. And let me play this. Did you watch that, by the way? The video I posted for you, Cluck? In main chat. I'm gonna scroll up to it here and just play it from Discord. I know it's in here somewhere.
And may I say that video was fabulous, Dronetek, and that redheaded dumbass
Oh, the
ditzy
one that you
reporter.
posted of yourself? No, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, you know what? I should just play that. Why am I not just playing that? Because I can just skip to the part. Let me just play that. This stream is very professional as always.
Super.
Oof. All right, here we go.
It sounds like Hunter Biden right now might be showing up if we want to start walking this way. But
Oh, I gotta share it.
he
Right.
could be on his way right now. As I said, this is part of the Hunter Biden's effort right now to really show that he is making every effort to comply with the subpoena to appear for a deposition.
Okay,
Time and
so
time again, he's of
let me just
Congress
play
for
this.
refusing to sit for a closed-door deposition, but we just
Congressional subpoenas. But before I get into that, a quick history lesson. The modern trend of ignoring congressional
Hey, that's
subpoenas
you.
was started by Democrats back in 2012
Oh,
when they
I
launched
know
a
that
similar
guy.
stunt at a vote to hold Barack Obama's AG in contempt for ignoring congressional subpoenas
Sure.
in regards to the
Hold on a
Fast
sec,
and
I can't
Furious
watch it
scandal.
because I can't
Walking
get
out
my
of the
mouse
vote,
back.
which of course CNN and MSNBC loved at the time. Then of course,
Hold on,
those
you didn't
standards
watch
went
it?
right out the window.
All right, let me
Was
do it one more
started by
time.
Democrats back in
Are you watching,
2012 when they
Cluck?
Yeah.
So you know where I'm coming from? Are you gonna watch?
Yeah, I got it now. I couldn't get my mouse back. I was in a full screen
Running
game. And
away
when I
from
pressed exit, it didn't.
All right, here we go. One more time.
But before I
Look
get
at
into
that
that, a
face.
quick history lesson. The modern trend of ignoring congressional subpoenas was started by Democrats back in 2012 when they launched a similar stunt at a vote to hold Barack Obama's AG in contempt for ignoring congressional subpoenas in regards to the Fast and Furious scandal. Walking out of the vote, which of course CNN and MSNBC loved at the time. Then of course, those standards went right out the window when a Republican ignored congressional subpoenas, Steve Bannon, and was then sentenced to 4 months in prison.
Oh, that was different.
That brings us to the present, where the rule
All right, but hold on. I gotta let me show this part too, real quick. Here we go.
will.
Don't
But the
skip
Democrats
Noble Gold, man.
themselves use the exact same procedures when dealing with witnesses
This is
related to
prepare.
J6 and Trump's impeachment. Like in 2019,
Here
when
we
House
go.
Oversight Democrats wanted to bring in Donald Trump Jr., Eric, and Ivanka in for closed-door testimony. Or like in 2022, when Steve Bannon offered to testify before the J6 committee in public.
Oh, that was different.
But Democrats went out to the media.
Steve Bannon, who's now
Here we go.
indicating that
This is what I
he
wanted
might
you to
be
see.
willing to testify in public. Joining me now
Volume.
is a member of the January 6th committee, Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren of California. Would it be a public hearing or would it be behind closed doors?
Ordinarily, we do depositions. This goes on for hour after hour after hour. We want to get all our questions answered, and you can't do that in a live format.
Oh, that was different.
Or how about when Jamie
Hold on.
Raskin insisted on
Yeah, this is-
closed-door testimonies?
The lesson is, please tell your children out there in America, if you get a subpoena to go before Congress or you get a subpoena to go to the court, go. You have a legal responsibility to go.
Would it be closed door with Bannon, or do you want to? Because he could go up there and pontificate.
Oh, he could go pontificate.
We have treated every single witness.
The reporter said that.
They come in, they talk to the committee. If they're going to take a deposition, they're sworn under oath. It's videotaped, it's recorded, and then we take it from there.
Now that is irony.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. So you have to explain now, Cluck, why suddenly the standards now changed for Hunter Biden.
Okay, Dronetek, when we went through this, I don't understand how is it that I can put into your Discord that examples of 3 Republican MAGA, I'm pretty
Right.
sure one of them is MAGA congressmen who did the same thing, ignored subpoenas, and did not get charged for it. And you're just
Right.
like
Right,
that-
that's the standard. So why are they acting like this now? Why are they now acting like this for Hunter Biden?
They did not get charged. The
Right.
MAGA
No,
people
I'm not
did
saying that. I'm saying no. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the closed door. So the media was really defending. Maybe I skipped over that, but the media is
Dronetek,
defending
I
Hunter
don't
Biden.
ever come on here to defend the media.
No, listen. They're saying that what Hunter Biden's doing is good. That's right. That he showed up for this thing and he's willing to do a public testimony, but that Republicans are somehow in the wrong for demanding that he do a closed door testimony.
So, for one, you're making this judgment very quickly, very soon. They actually voted to recommend to charge Hunter Biden. Why are the
I
Democrats?
don't care about that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this like sudden change of heart in the media. I just showed you a video of literally a CBS News reporter interviewing Raskin saying, "Oh, shouldn't you get him privately? You don't want him doing publicly because he could pontificate. He could pontificate. You don't want him to do it." Did you see that?
Dronetek, I am not here to defend the media. I have always said that cable media is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but the media and the Democrats are one and the same. They are one and the same. So what? Oh, okay. What's the difference? What's the difference in the media stance on this and the Democrats?
Online journals are they're not perfect. They make mistakes. They make mistakes all the time, but they are way better than cable news.
I'm talking about CBS, like CBS News, okay, which is network.
I don't defend network news. I hate.
So what are you
cable
defending?
news.
What are you defending?
What I'm trying to. You think that there's this double standard, like within the system as a whole? Is that what I was arguing?
The media are the enforcers of the standard. They are the ones who enforce whatever standard.
So when it comes to like how the outside of the media, when it comes to how these two groups of people, you would say it's been pretty much the same, right? When it comes to
are you
being
saying,
charged?
can I rephrase the question? Are you asking him if the media is not used and he were to just go to a court and watch one person be treated a certain way and go to the other court and another person be treated the other way, would he still see it? Is that the question?
Kind of, but it's not just like one person. It's like the group overall, because he's making the claim.
Well,
that
nothing
the right
happened to
is
Eric
treated-
Holder, and then Steve Bannon got sentenced to 4 months in prison. I don't think he ever has done it yet. I think that's still looming. I couldn't find I looked. I couldn't find really anything about it. He got sentenced, and it hasn't happened yet. Or maybe it did. Maybe it happened in secret.
It's on appeal.
Oh, it's on appeal. That's right. I did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
so
see
Steve
that.
Bannon got sentenced. So Steve Bannon got sentenced to 4 years. Those 3
4
congressmen
months,
whose names I do not remember, but they were MAGA congressmen.
So hold on. Address that. What's with that
4
difference?
Not 4 years.
What's with that?
4 months. Hold on. Address that. What's the difference? Eric Holder, nothing happens. And Democrats walk out of the vote to hold him in contempt, and the media applauds it. Then you got Steve Bannon, where the media is gunning for his ass, and then he gets 4 months in prison, sentenced.
I think it's probably
yummy.
I think it's probably pretty arbitrary. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, arbitrary.
Obama used executive privilege. He allowed Eric Holder to use executive privilege in that circumstance.
Right, and then Trump did not allow Bannon, correct?
I don't know if he was.
Is that what happened?
What happened?
No, that did come up. That did come up with Bannon. What you just
but
talked
I think
about.
I got that wrong. I think it was Biden who actually waived the executive privilege.
Waived it for who?
From
Secret
Steve-
Service protection.
From Steve Bannon.
I don't know how he could do that.
Because he's the executive.
But these are for
I'm Rick
events
James, bitch.
that occurred when Trump was president.
Yeah, I mean, the court held it up, so I don't know if there's precedent for it for the past, but yeah, he's the executive. He's got the authority of what falls under executive privilege now. And I think that that's probably for the best, because if you find that a president is abusing executive privilege, like let's say trying to use it to keep people from testifying when the information actually wasn't dangerous to be out in the public, they just don't want to be testified against, the next president can waive that and force the testimony.
Do you have a squirrel in your shirt?
Me? No, it's a microphone.
Oh.
I wish it was
Squirrel
judge here.
Squirrels in his pants, not in his shirt.
No, there's just like a poofy tail coming out of his. There's like a poofy tail coming out of his shirt. And he has a headphone mic, so I was confused. I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, so this one's going for Discord. This one's a higher quality, so I'm recording it for using it.
Oh, right on. That makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry. Proceed. Hey, World War III is trending on Twitter.
Yeah, the president has the right to waive executive privilege, even those that were claimed by former presidents.
All right. Speaking of squirrels, as soon as Dronetek gave the mic back to you, he literally was like, "Squirrel."
Squirrel. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Newsweek's talking about how.
Yeah, I want to say that I didn't have a single drink until tonight when I last said that I wasn't going to have it.
Executive privilege away from Navarro.
I'm not drinking heavily, though, just a little drink.
What were you saying, Tyler?
I'm just pointing out Biden took executive privilege away from Bannon, Navarro, and several other people.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But yeah, the parent looks like that's the difference. Dronetek. One had executive privilege, the other one didn't.
Okay, and then we come to Hunter Biden.
Yay!
And Hunter Biden ignored his congressional subpoena because he,
And
for
he's
whatever
been
reason,
recommended for charges.
right? Okay, but
Not
hold on. So,
recommended.
well, see, and so I'm not allowed to bring up the media's reaction to this at all. Like, you think they have
I agree with you. The
Hold on.
media's
hold-
biased, and I
Okay,
don't
but
like
you
them.
think they have no influence over this, over these situations?
Maybe, but what are we going to argue about?
Well, if you, well, if you agree to, so you agree with me that the media is enforcing double standards on this.
Yes, the cable news media, yes, for sure.
Okay, well, good night, folks.
Like I've never disagreed with that. Like
we got 8 more.
there has been so many times that
Oh,
you
yeah.
have brought up something that like CNN, cable news has done that was bad, and I'm like, yes, that's bad. Why are
Yeah,
we
but
still arguing about
the
it?
media is the ultimate evil, and they're the bad guys.
I don't think
I
they're
have a
the
question.
ultimate evil.
I have a question.
Yeah, they
I have a
get it
question.
wrong most sometimes.
What for Cluck or anyone here? What do you think was meant to happen when Hunter went to that court hearing in the way that he did? Like what did that mean to you?
Which one? First one or the
The
second
most
one?
recent one. The most
The
recent
most
one.
recent
where
one, he was just trying to troll the Republicans.
Do you think it worked out for him?
I think so.
As soon as he started getting questioned, he got up and ran. I meant to include that in my video. I forgot, but yeah, that was the funniest part. The second he started getting questioned by MGT, he got up and ran.
Is there any way, if you play the devil's advocate, that he left for another reason?
He had he had to take a
He had to poop. Yeah.
Bathroom break.
He's like, oh, I gotta shit.
Well,
He's like this.
he left
He's
when-
like
he
this
left-
crack's making me have to shit.
He left when MTG came up, right?
Yes.
When it was her turn to go, yeah.
Right, but just before that, he had smoked some crack.
Who actually wants to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene, the space laser lady, talk?
Is that your?
She never said Jewish space laser. I just want to point that
No,
out.
hold on. I didn't say Jewish. Hold on. You're putting words in my mouth, and I know that there are people that put the Jewish part into MTG's mouth. I'm saying space.
Are you saying space lasers aren't real?
I'm saying that they didn't cause the fires.
Oh, how do you know that?
Yeah,
because they were investigated.
Whatever. Oh, they were investigating. The government investigated themselves and found they did nothing wrong, huh?
She does a surprisingly decent job on the House Oversight Committee. I've watched
I
her a few times.
think MGT's pretty damn hot.
She did a surprisingly good job with the whole Mann Act thing. I think she was all right. She wasn't impressive or anything, but she was all right. She's as good as any other person in that House Senate.
You have a crush. We know.
No,
she. I think she's kind of crazy. I think MGT's kind of crazy, but that's also kind of hot.
I mean, don't the two
Move
usually go
over,
hand in hand?
So, Dronetek, real quick, you think the government took its space lasers and started the fires in Hawaii?
No, I don't think that. I don't. No, I don't think that.
You
but
kind of were saying that.
No. I'm just saying his response, his arguments against it. I'm just like rolling my eyes because it's just like,
why Hunter Biden got
that
up
is.
when MTG came I think that's you guys like trying to make a story out of nothing. Like he wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place.
I did see one weird video of fires in Canada where it looked like a bunch of fires started from space. Did you guys see? Everybody saw that video, right? Where it looked like a whole bunch, where it looked like a whole bunch of fires started at like pinpoint locations at the same time.
Like a flash mob.
I never saw any verification of
Well,
if
widely
did that.
spread, like by probably hundreds of miles.
Yeah, it seemed like they all started simultaneously.
Right, like a whole bunch of them. Yeah. They were widely spread. Like these were not close by each other. But they all started at the same time. I'll find it. One second. But it could be not real. I have no idea.
Quick question: do you think that Southern California, might have been the test bed in Ventura County a few years ago?
It's the test bed for
Could
most
be.
other things, so it's logical.
Yeah, exactly right.
Test
It's very
bed for
true.
what?
these space lasers using fires and stuff like that, right?
Why would you use a space laser to make a fire on Earth when you could just throw a match?
What the fuck?
Because how?
What?
Why is that cool?
I just did a search.
Gotta be cool.
I just did a search, guys. I gotta show you this. Look, I just did a search on Twitter. Hold on, I gotta share this with everybody. I'll do it quickly, but everybody come in and look on Twitter. Look, this is Elon Musk's Twitter. All right, hold on.
Just real
Go
quick
ahead.
while we're watching this. Damn it! You said that Hunter wasn't supposed to be at that hearing,
Jesus
but at the same time, he was supposed to be at the hearing.
I'm like looking for the video and I see that. It's like, what the fuck?
That hearing wasn't the one that he was subpoenaed to.
Hey,
That was the first time he showed up.
Don't scroll up. Either.
Be
Okay.
careful.
I'm not. I clicked back. I know. I clicked
Dude,
back.
I saw that. I saw that shit.
I know. What the fuck, dude? That's like.
I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got with searching for smoke and fires.
Why are you searching for? Wait, are you searching for information on space lasers starting fires?
No. I just want to find this video I saw. It's probably bullshit,
Okay.
but
Okay. You're looking for something specific. Okay.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
No, I'm not. I'm not that level of. In fact, I'm very skeptical. I'm
Dude,
a very
I
skeptical
seriously-
guy.
Does anyone here know Bread?
Yes.
Bread? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
he gets all of his news exclusively on Twitter. It's insane.
The band.
Yeah, that's like boomers. A lot of boomers. A lot of boomers are like that. My mom. I have all these. So.
I need clarification. I need clarification. The band.
No, check this out. Check this out. Let me just tell you this real quick. My brother, he's married to this girl who her parents are divorced, and her father is a fan of mine. It just turns out that way. He just happened to be like, he's been watching my channel forever, and he's total nut. And so like that side of the family, like my brother's wife's side of the family thinks I'm like a nut, and not like I'm the one who turned him into that.
They should call you Almond Joy.
Could be watching.
It's like this guy messages me all the time on Facebook. I just ignore him. He sends me all these insane links. And it's like my mom sends me these same kind of links. I'm just like, I just ignore it.
So what happened with Hunter Biden was that he was supposed to go to his hearing. He showed up at the hearing, but he didn't actually go into like the room and everything where he was supposed to go into. And he did a press conference on the day of his hearing. So he was like, "I'm here. You guys can question me. But we're going to do it in public." And then when that didn't happen, he left. And then the second hearing was a hearing on whether or not they were going to recommend charges for contempt of Congress. And he showed up for that one to seemingly to troll the Republicans.
Do you think that worked out for him? You said you thought it worked out for him. How did it work out for him?
The whole not showing up for the hearing, that's going to really depend on whether or not he goes to jail for it. The trolling the Republicans part, I think it worked out. It got some good clips, and there was a lot of talk about it. And I think that he's like, because the left doesn't really like Hunter Biden, but if he's trolling the Republicans, they seem to like it.
All right, hey, I found this video I was telling you guys about.
That's
finally.
a very shallow reason, honestly.
Why it worked out for him?
It's all a good distraction for him. It's great for him because it's all a good distraction from the pay-for-play Biden scheme that he was hosting for years. So it's a win.
What is the new view, though? I don't understand what he now looks like. A guy that
They're not talking about
that's now the new
money.
look?
They're not talking about money going to Joe Biden right now. They're talking about Hunter Biden
Yeah,
trolling
he's-
Republicans.
Tyler, are you being serious?
Flip the news cycle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, Tyler. I would love to debate you on whether or not there was like a actual corrupt thing between Hunter and Joe and Burisma.
Wouldn't be much of a debate. It was pretty bad.
Okay,
It's pretty bad.
Send me your sources, and I'd love to look at them.
I want you guys to debate, but let me show you space lasers real quick.
This is all from the hearing. I went through all. I've watched the Hunter Biden hearings and the impeachment inquiry like 4 times.
Okay. Yeah, send that to me. I'll read through it, and we can set up a debate. Unless I end up agreeing with you, and then there's nothing to debate.
Yeah, I'm sure if I laid it out for you in a way, you'll be like, "Oh, this is pretty There's still it's not complete. There's still a little bit of holes in it. They know that the Biden's taken money. They know that there were actions taken. What they can't do is link Joe Biden's actions that benefited these people to the money that his son took it.
Okay.
I got the point, Dronetek. I got it.
Let me ask you real quick, off the top of your head, from what you know of the Trump Foundation, his company, dealings with foreign entities, the company that he didn't divest in, do you think that there's possibility, using the same standards you're applying to Biden right now, do you think there's a good possibility that Trump was also like using?
I mean, it could and the whole Kushner thing with Saudi Arabia, there very well could just as possibly be. The thing is, it would take one of Trump's kids smoking a bunch of crack and leaving a laptop at some guy's computer shop for us to find out, because that's the only reason we know that like Hunter Biden was meeting with the CFO of Burisma, and then he got that guy a meeting with Joe Biden in private, and then Joe Biden did things that benefited Burisma for the next 2 years. So, and then we see a bunch of money shift into Hunter Biden's shell companies from Burisma executives and shit. It's pretty. It's like we're missing just one conversation, and then we have all the rest of the pieces. Same thing with that.
But you said it went to. So the claim isn't that Joe Biden took money. The claim was that Hunter Biden was taking money, and Joe Biden was facilitating that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's more than enough.
I mean, come on.
You don't.
It's so obvious. It's like so obvious.
Mafia dons and shit go down for shit like that. If your family member's taking it in, it's still seen as a gift to you. Especially if they can prove. The thing is, they can't prove political favor. Like the oligarch lady from Russia that gave Hunter Biden $3.5 million. She got a meeting at that fancy restaurant I can't remember the name of right now with Joe Biden.
Right.
Next thing you know, she is one of the only Russian oligarchs to not show up on the sanctions list that Obama puts out a few weeks later, attacking all the oligarchs in Russia when he moved in on Crimea.
And can I just add to that Biden had dinner with these people knowing that they were like already known criminals? He already knew that, and he had dinner with them.
Yeah, there was the guy that really wanted to become prime minister of Kazakhstan. And
Klaus Schwab?
No, it wasn't Klaus Schwab. It was another. And he met with Hunter Biden. He also hired Rudy Giuliani, just in full transparency. This guy had a lot of money. He met with Hunter Biden, gave him a bunch of money, bought him a Porsche. Next thing you know, Joe Biden's meeting with like the high up. Maybe Joe Biden met with the prime minister, and this guy wanted to be an ambassador, is what I think it actually was. I have a lot of these details written down, but this is all won over in the 3 hearings that I watched.
Well,
do you have timestamps on your
ChatGPT did it for me.
Was it as bad as Trump basically threatening to withhold $400 million in military aid so that he could get dirt? I mean, that was pretty fucking bad regarding Ukraine.
I think that if what is alleged of Hunter and Joe Biden is proven, it's probably worse than that. Yes,
that was bad. Trump
was pretty
president.
shitty.
He was president when he did that.
He rightfully got impeached for that. The only thing is, impeachment is like it takes the manifest will of the country, and since we're so partisan divided, you can never get 65% of the country to agree on anything.
I'll be right back, guys. Bathroom break.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed, but if you can.
Don't go to bed.
Maybe I'll go. Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm coming right back. I promise.
I'll sit down and chat with
right now.
Look, I'll sit down and chat with you, and we'll see if we disagree before taking that next step to debate. Plus, I'd also like to get you on the same page factually.
Yeah, I would. I'd be interested in Okay, so there's a lot of claims that have been made so far of Hunter Biden, like, oh well, he received $20,000 or something from his brother, but then it turned out that it was a loan. So I would need to look into those claims that you're making and see if there's anything like that, and if there's not, then
the loan that was also discussed in the hearings, they had the woman that was testifying in the first impeachment inquiry, white-haired woman. She was a former prosecutor. She was talking about when you have loans in these capacities, You have other contracts. You have a loan contract. You have talking about repayment. You have talking about interest rate. And it's seemingly none of this paperwork exists for all these loan checks Joe Biden's taking in. There's no proof he actually gave anything for a loan. He's just receiving a check. And at the bottom of the check, the reason why says loan.
It was my understanding that the money you can see the money going out to James, I think is his name, Biden.
Yeah.
And the money going back in. Like that you can see that in his bank statements.
Yeah, it's the Hunter Biden emails that are really the most damning. I feel like, especially like with CEFC, the WhatsApp text, where he's saying, "I'm sitting right here next to Joe Biden, and I don't forgive grudges, and I'm the one that makes Chairman G happy, so let me do what I do," and shit like that. And then that very same company, CEFC, as soon as Biden left the White House in 2017 as the VP, he was brought on as a partner. He got an office in this fucking building in China. Him and his wife Joe Biden both became partners at this company in China that sold investments that worked directly with Chairman Xi. Like, it's pretty fucking crazy shit.
Okay. Yeah, send it to me and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot. I got a lot of information on this, so it'll take you a minute. But again, I'd be willing to just sit down and chat with you, answer any questions. Go down
Yeah,
the
we,
rabbit
we,
hole.
we can schedule that too, just not this week because like I said, I was working overtime this week, so I'm pretty tired right now.
Same.
Clock was working overtime.
We can segue into the next point on the poll. It was actually Cluck's concept of Trump ballot woes. I don't know
Oh,
if
I didn't
anyone's
know
paying
we were gonna
attention
do
to
that
what's.
one tonight.
Sorry, bro. We're just going on to the
We're
next
just
subject.
going through the list.
Okay.
Well, I mean, go
Go
ahead and make
ahead.
your point if you want to, Cluck. But basically, I'm just curious if anybody here has been paying attention to what's happening in different states, which states are trying to still actively remove Trump, and which ones are actively trying to move Biden. It's a two-way street now, so go ahead.
So the only one that I actually did research in was Colorado, and what Colorado essentially found was that there's a few different points that they had to look into. Off the top of my head, one is whether or not incitement counts as engaging, because the 14th Amendment says that it's the people who are engaged who are disqualified. The second one is whether or not the 14th Amendment is self executing, meaning that you don't need another charge to be for it to apply. The other one is whether or not Trump actually did incite the insurrection. And the other one is whether or not this amendment applies to the president. And the first district court found everything to be in the positive, meaning that Trump did incite it. Incitement does count as engaging. The 14th Amendment is self-executing, but they did not find that the president is a office that the 14th Amendment restricts. They said that they're not an oath-taking office. And then
Who sorry to interject, but
yeah, it's fine.
who is deciding that yes, this is a true conviction? Who is saying yes, he incited based on the facts of the speech and the situation? We
I
know
don't
for a
actually know
fact
if it
that
was a jury trial or if it was just a judge. But I
because
do
it
know
seems subjective enough that I don't see how
It,
that can be
it was a
blanket
judge.
statement.
it was a judge.
Yes.
All right, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
she was a
get to
judge.
my sources now. But yeah, so that was what they decided, and then the people. So the first court judge said this doesn't apply to Trump, so you got to put him on the ballot. The second judge, which was the Supreme Court, so it was the panel of judges, agreed with the district court on everything except for the president is not a office oath taker, whatever that
An
qualifies for
officer of the United States.
Yeah. So they found that he is not eligible for to be on the ballot by the 14th Amendment. This was a bipartisan effort to get Trump off the ballot. It was funded by a Democratic group. The people that they found to actually file the claim were Republicans, and the person that they were suing was a Democrat. And yeah, that's kind of where
Well,
I
it's
was
nice
at.
that they were working together. I love this bipartisan teamwork stuff.
Me too.
It is nice. I struggle with the judgment that it was that it's clearly incitement, that he clearly incited the insurrection. I mean, just the terms that are being used and how it's voted upon, I find that a little bit too subjective to just back, but
Oh,
that's just
it's
me.
the Supreme Court announced this week that they're going to be taking it up in February, maybe I think it's February, early February. Um, and so like you really could just put a pin in this conversation till then. But I really feel like I kind of agree with you that like, using these legal terms of insurrection and incitement of mob, like these are things that you can get arrested for. There's actual codes to arrest people for, and he's not even charged by for any of that. And there's no even allegation that he did these things, let alone a conviction. And to say that like we can use the colloquial definition, the
Yeah,
non-criminal colloquial definition, just say that could be interpreted in a lot of ways. And if you say like, you know, like fight like hell, if someone on the left says fight like hell, you could say that's the same level of incitement Trump did, and turn around and charge that person with incitement in the
yeah,
same way.
I agree 100%. I think every aspect of this is bordering on the absurd. The notion that we would use a law designed to, where in the minds of the people that wrote it, an insurrection was the Civil War, where millions died, and attempt to wrangle the legalistic language of what does insurrection say in the dictionary into this little tiny event. That's the first absurdity, and everything follows from there. That the things that Trump said, have to be twisted and pushed into this category to be even considered incitement, and then incitement has to be twisted to be engagement, because none of these words are really that well defined in the amendment. The amendment was simply, we're not going to let Confederates that served in office be officers in the new republic.
Okay,
And
so go
I
ahead.
will point out that there's been one use of this since Reconstruction, and that was to attempt to prevent a socialist who opposed the U.S. entry into World War I, to prevent him from taking office, and he was prevented from taking office.
Okay, so the court. All right, so I'm gonna give you my perspective on why I think Trump was at the very least morally responsible for January 6th. I think that he probably should be held legally responsible. I just don't know if the code is written that way. Um, but if it isn't, it probably should be. I think that Trump created an environment where he was by telling lies about the 2020 election that made these people feel like that they were going to literally lose their country if they didn't do something about it. And I think that some of his past statements when it regards to violent acts made them feel like it would be okay in his eyes if they were violent.
I mean, I agree that he's morally responsible, so you're not going to get me to disagree with that.
Yeah, so in the court, they say basically, in regards to the general atmosphere of political violence that Trump created before January 6th, many of which we have already outlined in discussing why the district court concluded that President Trump engaged in insurrection. We incorporate those observations here by reference and supplements. And they go on to list a bunch of things that Trump has said, which includes saying things like, in my days, protesters would be punched in the face. I'd pay your legal fees if you were to fight this person.
Do they do
I
this
think
for Democrats too?
But
Or
hold
is it
on,
just this guy?
Dronetek.
No. I'm so sick of this shit. No. Okay,
please,
whatever.
Dronetek,
Okay, yes.
I think I personally think the most damning one thing that Trump said was when he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by.
That was dumb.
Proud Boys,
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard him say.
Proud Boys, which, by the way, I think 4 of them, including their leader, was convicted of seditious conspiracy.
Right, but he wasn't even there, and they didn't. Okay, yeah, I know. The guy that wasn't at the Capitol, right? That got 20 years who was an
No,
FBI
there were
informant.
Proud Boys at the Capitol that got convicted of the same thing.
And what
Yeah,
did
I'm
they
all
do?
for throwing
What
the
did they do?
rioters.
They got convicted of seditious conspiracy. I haven't looked into the
I
indictments.
know.
to
I
know
can't even
exactly what
trust
their
those
actions were.
convictions, though. I just think it's bullshit.
All right, I mean that's fine.
Only
Like
87 of them were
seditious conspiracy. How are they gonna seditice? How are they going to be seditionists? What were they going to do?
I would have to look at the indictments. Dronetek,
Like how
to
Joe
know exactly
Biden,
what the claims
Joe
are.
Biden. I wonder if they played this during their trials. If they played Joe Biden saying that you could not overthrow the government with AR-15s, that you needed F-15s and nukes. But somehow this group, the small unarmed group, people was going to do it somehow, right?
Just because they were doomed to fail doesn't mean they didn't try.
Okay. Well, okay, hold on. But Cluck, by that standard, you guys tried for 4 years after 2016 to overthrow the government, right? BLM and the media backed it. Democrats backed it. BLM basically terrorizing the country for 4 years because you guys lost the election. And their stated goal was to burn down the system and replace it, right? When are the hearings for that?
Tyler?
When are the treasons? When are we going to see the treason hearings for that? Are we? Is that going to happen?
Tyler, what were you saying?
So I'm gonna
Just ignore me. Okay.
I'm gonna throw like a hypothetical at you. So Bernie Sanders was out there saying that Republicans' healthcare plan is gonna kill millions of people. It's gonna hurt your grandparents. It's blah blah blah. And shortly after that, there was the shooting where Steve Scalise was shot at the Congressional baseball game, and he was a big Bernie Sanders supporter and used to repeat shit online like Republicans are gonna kill my grandma essentially. Would you blame Bernie Sanders for that, or would you say that sometimes when you have a large crowd of people, that charged rhetoric resonates with a small percent in a different way than normal people expect?
And can I also add that there was a domestic terrorist attack against Republicans based on the rhetoric from Bernie Sanders and all that, right? Remember that?
So I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think that Bernie Sanders' rhetoric was irresponsible and the extreme
no
that
charges
he
though.
took it. But yeah, I also think it's a little bit of the whole when you have large groups of people, somebody's gonna probably.
Can I ask you, Cluck? Can I ask you just on that, based on that, like why did the FBI lie about that for so long? You know they lied about it, right?
But I don't.
Oh, let's just gloss over that. Okay.
Dronetek, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you want to have a discussion about
I am.
all these topics with me,
I am.
No, if you want to have like an actual discussion, what you need to do is you need to DM me, be like, all right. So this
Do you know about the baseball game shooting, the GOP
Yes, I do
baseball
know
game
about the
shooting?
baseball
Okay.
game shooting.
Do you know that the FBI lied about that?
So what you need to do is you need to DM me, be like, hey, I want to talk to you about the FBI lying about the baseball game shooting. Here's my evidence.
But that's connected to
Look into
this. That's part of this
Look into
debate.
No, here's my evidence. Look into this.
What?
And
Stop.
get back to
Just
me,
stop.
and
Just
we'll have a
stop.
discussion
Just
about
stop.
it. If I see your evidence and that just
You're
makes it
done.
crazy,
Okay, stop. That's you don't know about it. You have no. Yeah, right. You don't know about it. You can't comment.
I
No
don't
reason
know
to
about
patronize
why
me
you
about it.
think the FBI lied about it. It could have
They
happened.
did. I don't. It's not about me thinking. They did. It's It's undebatable. It is out in the open.
Like,
Huh?
That
What?
has nothing to do with what Tyler asked.
It does
That has
though. It
nothing to do
does.
with
It
the
does
original
though.
topic.
It does though.
It doesn't.
I mean,
'Cause-
you like Cluck, you like to debate, so you're supposed to be on your feet with these kind of topics since you like to bring it up, right?
I'm not going to debate something that I haven't looked into. That would be a dumb thing for me to do.
I bring this up like every debate. I bring this up like literally every debate we have.
Then you have to admit that you don't know certain things. Like you don't have to be like, oh, well, you know what? You want to have a discussion, blah blah blah. No, you have to admit that yes, I don't know. We can discuss this later, and maybe you're right.
Wait, was that not my whole spiel?
That was not your spew at all.
Okay.
Spew. Come on.
Spew.
Okay. Anyways, Tyler. Yes. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Spoopies.
I think that Bernie Sanders' rhetoric was irresponsible, and it did cause that person to do that shooting, but also like Bernie Sanders' rhetoric, it's the whole
It wasn't
large
just
group
Bernie
also.
Sanders though, right? It was like the entire media, the entire Democrat Party.
So
It
that
was a
specific
narrative.
shooting,
It was a
I'm pretty
narrative.
Sure he cited Bernie Sanders' rhetoric.
Well, no, he didn't cite it. He said this is for healthcare. He was shooting at Republicans, and the FBI
Yeah,
said it was suicide by cop.
He was a big follower of Rachel Maddow too.
Yeah.
What about
and
What about Maxine Waters? The entire State of the Union address.
Right,
What
like,
about all that?
like, when are we gonna hold Democrats? This is the point I brought up earlier. Yeah, like, when are we gonna hold them to that standard?
Well, the thing that I was saying.
We can
was
do that to
Trump-
Republicans, but
Trump-
let's do it to Democrats
so
too.
What the thing that I was saying was that Trump created a world with lies. With lies, he created a world where if they didn't do something now, yes, he did.
He
created a
or
world
people before
where
him
if-
did that, and then
where
Trump
if-
came along and maybe started doing
No,
it too.
He told a bunch of lies that
Oh.
everyone that people in this Discord right now, I guarantee you still believe. He told a bunch of lies that made these people feel like if
Like
they
what?
didn't do something
Don't say
now-
that and have no
well,
examples. Like
the
what?
entire January 6th was stolen by fraudulent elections thing, a fraudulent votes thing. That entire thing was a lie.
I think the 2020 election was definitely
Even
shisty,
if you're-
and I
even if you're
think
right, that doesn't rise to the level of incitement.
Sure. Well, that is the standard that I am using to hold him morally responsible. And I think that the whatever code that is in there should probably include a little bit of aspect of that, especially when it comes to lying that leads to some type of riots. I think that the most damning thing that they have on Trump was when he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. And then 4 of those Proud Boys people ended up getting convicted of seditious conspiracy.
okay, but stand by. He told him to stand by. What's that mean? He told him to not do anything.
How does that mean?
He
How
said,
do you
yeah,
interpret that to mean go into the Capitol?
right. He said, don't do anything is what he told him to do.
He said don't do anything. So he didn't say that on January 6th.
He said
that
stand
before
down.
January 6th. He told him to stand down and stand by.
Right.
Stand by mean? It means
Did
wait
we,
for your moment. And those people took it as January 6th was their moment.
Did we address the Ray Epps situation?
I don't think.
Gosh. If you were getting into Ray Epps, I'm. Yeah.
Because how
Well, you can't defend it. You can't. There at this point, you really can't.
I defended it pretty well when.
No.
when we were-
So he was just. He just got his sentence. How can you explain his sentence?
Wait, hold on. How are you able to defend the Ray Epps situation when it's already known that he was working with the FBI?
So what? Like,
Wait, what do you
How
mean
is
it
that a
was
so
known?
what?
Hey, hold on. Let me take this one. You got the last argument, liberal.
Okay.
So what if he was working with the FBI?
What? Okay, so what is the so what about?
Oh,
Like,
I'm
he-
interested.
all
Now I'm
he
interested.
did-
You piqued my interest.
All he did was say, "Hey, let's go into this building," and he
But
wasn't actually entering himself.
isn't he the one that was insinuating riots?
I mean, maybe he was, and maybe he was working with the FBI. Like,
Well, it's not
you were
maybe.
allowed to-
It's not maybe.
Okay, let's assume this is correct.
Wait,
Let's
hold on. So let me tell you something. I'll give you the perspective here, since we're gonna play that game. How is it that he gets the lowest sentence, but the people that was actually peacefully inside the Capitol are the one that has been charged with a 3-year plus sentence?
Oh no! I'm looking.
Not
I'm looking up
everybody.
the sentence.
Some
No,
have.
Not everybody.
Hold on.
Not everybody. But how's this a so what
The,
situation?
the most common 2 sentences handed out of the 87, no, excluding the 87.
3 years is the average. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's looking more like people are getting trespassing and what's the other, protesting without a permit, and they're getting months, and that's it.
But how when the security guards was just allowing people inside?
That's a police tactic. If you don't have enough police officers, you're going to put more police officers at risk in studying the crowd.
Right.
and
Why
violently-
a better question is why didn't they have enough police officers?
Isn't it the police officer's job to keep people out? Aren't they supposed to be the muscle, the security?
They are, but when there's not enough of them, it's a police tactic. It's like when you
sounds like
see,
a cop-out.
so it might be, but in this aspect, think of it like this: when you see a police chase going on in a busy city, they'll often call the police officers off and say, "Stop chasing that person. We have their license plate. We have their address. It's going to cause more violence if we continue this chase right now."
Yeah.
They'll let that person go, and then they'll go arrest them later. It's a similar to what they did at the Capitol. We don't have the manpower to keep them out. We'll see more hurt police officers if we violently resist.
I have a few possible reasons to why. A lot of the left has been asking to defund the police, and a lot of people has left the police force because of such rhetoric like that.
For sure, but like, I mean, the police forces aren't hurting in a lot of states. It's only the areas that talked about defund the police. But I want to stay more focused on Ray Epps. So what if he worked for the FBI? If the FBI,
That means a lot.
they're
what if
allowed to
Trump
go undercover.
So what
and-
if Trump was the president of the United States?
Yeah, well,
But
I'm
he is
saying
not the one inciting riots.
people are allowed to go undercover. If you're an informant, it doesn't necessarily mean the FBI is like, go in there and do this. It's like you were in there doing this. You saw some shit that would like raise some red flags with you that went too far. and you went to the FBI and said, "Hey, these guys are going a little too far. Here's some shit I know." Like,
Except, can I jump in on that? Like, you know this debater, you know that he whispered to Baked Alaska that his plan was to storm the Capitol. I'm not kidding, is what he said.
I'm sure that's his.
So if he's working for the government and his plan on behalf of the government is to storm the Capitol, and he's instigating people to do that on the day before and the day of, like, come on, like, how can you explain his sentence given that? Like, if he's just a regular guy. Well, I have one other explanation actually. If he's not a government agent, he's just a regular guy who did incite it, but that's a problem for people trying to blame Trump for inciting it.
Yeah, but see, if you work with the police, then you get like discounted sentences. There's all sorts of like, the police could jam you up for nothing and keep you busy for 48 hours.
No,
and lock up
but we're not talking about any normal schlub here. We're talking about the guy who literally admitted that his plan was to storm the Capitol. Those words, which turned out to be the leading buzz phrase of our media.
So
coincidentally,
maybe he again. I'm for the sake of this argument, I'm affirming he probably worked for the FBI. Let's say he even had a specific.
I'm not even saying working for the FBI.
So what? As if our bodies of government, especially the agencies like the CIA and FBI, hasn't done stupid shit like this before. You got to understand, it's bad enough. Like we already have on public record, like the CIA was the whole reason for 9/11 happened, and that became public information last year. Don't you not think that this is just another issue of like government interfering in elections?
It might. I wouldn't say interfering in elections. I think this is government doing their job. This is the FBI doing what they do. Like they get into these groups where you see this political activism.
So now we're just gonna point the finger of an adversary just because, just for fucks all, and be like, well, we had an informant in there, but like, who cares? That's a bad argument.
No, I don't think. I think it's a perfectly good argument. Like if people, the informant is there telling the FBI what these people are talking about and what they're.
But he's the one who's inciting the riots. It's
Can I
caught on video.
real quick?
Wait, hold on.
Hold on, before we continue. Before we continue on this line, hold on. Before we continue on this line, let me play this real quick for the audience, real quick. Because it's right in line with what we're talking about right now. 1 second.
We are here to do something. Keep your focus. Keep your focus. You're losing focus. Don't lose focus. You're losing focus. You're losing focus. You're getting off the subject, man. We're here for another reason. We're not here to fight, man. We're here to storm. I'm not kidding. We're here to storm the Capitol.
Wow, today has been an exception.
All right, that's good enough, dude.
Anyway, yeah, that's all. I just wanted, like the fact that he says that, and then I'm not kidding. I just want people to see that. To continue. Go ahead.
So what if he works for the FBI? Is what catches me off guard, bro. I'm like,
I don't even wait. Why? What? When did it come out that he worked for the FBI? I haven't.
No,
I'm granting you for this conversation.
There was something. Let me jump in. There was. I read something about. He trained FBI, or his sister said that he trained FBI agents years ago or something.
This was during the congressional hearings a month back in the during the whole election proceedings about the whole January 6th incident.
So he wasn't like an employee of the FBI at the time of the riot.
No. I'm just
like,
granting it.
I know you're granting that because you the argument works even if he did work for the FBI. But
no, it was that he was working for the FBI.
Yeah. Do you guys? Can I throw something else out? I read there's an article from Politico that came out right after Epps was sentenced, this most recent sentence, and it of course paints anybody that's raising questions as a conspiracy theorist. But then when you read the article, it completely lies about like what he said. It multiple times throughout the article it mentions that he told people to go to the Capitol.
He
but
did
even
say go to the Capitol.
No, right, but in parts where they're quoting him, where he was actually saying go into the Capitol, and they do not quote it that way, and they don't say anything about storming the Capitol. It's like, why are they leaving these things out of these stories? Why are they leaving that out?
When we had this debate, there was one time where he showed intent on actually going inside the Capitol.
Oh my God, no!
That was when he told that person to get rid of
No, that's bullshit. That's all bullshit. Shut up. That's wrong. You're wrong.
It's as simple as 3 months ago to almost a year ago when they were having these congressional hearings about January 6th. If we simply just look back, I know people.
I'll play the video if I must. I will do it. You want me to play it?
It sucks. I have to actually look at for the news just to actually look at these congressional hearings, but they were having like 3-hour-long conversations about Ray Epps and his involvement with the FBI. And of
Yeah,
course,
waste of time.
I think there's a real weakness.
They're talking in fucking circles, and obviously, these people that were working, that are working there currently, obviously won't answer basic questions.
Yeah, it's all a waste of time. Same thing like the Garland hearing, waste of time. No, so the point is, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're putting, and he's just an FBI informant. I'm not saying he's an undercover agent or something, but if you're putting undercover agents into a drug house to get a drug sting, those agents aren't going in there and saying, no, don't commit crimes, guys. We should really all stop selling drugs. They go in there and they're like, yeah, let's sell drugs. And then they're fucking taking pictures on the side and shit. Like, it's their job to blend in.
Why is it okay to do that? Why in the instance of the insurrection? Why is it? Why are you backing it? Why are you saying that? What's
There
the
is
big
there
deal?
is a line here, and that is the line of entrapment. And I'm not sure if you are alleging that the people that were arrested and convicted were entrapped by Ray Epps. That seems unlikely, especially if it's what he said about storming the Capitol. He whispered it to somebody.
Yeah, he's like, my plan is to storm the Capitol. I'm not kidding.
How does that excuse somebody else who was convicted of their role?
That's a very good point. It's hard to argue Ray Epps
Nice,
could entrap
Dance.
anybody being a crazy guy on the streets of Washington, D.C.
Not the point.
I feel like we are holding one person to a higher standard than the next just because of status.
I mean,
in a way, that's how the world works.
Here's my argument.
One thing.
Here's my argument is that Donald Trump told people to march peacefully and make your voices heard, or march peacefully and patriotically and make your voices heard. There was over 120,000 people did. That's what the vast majority of people did. When it came to the actual riot, it was about 300 people, about 372 people that took part in that. There was another about 300 who took part in destruction of property, and that's it. About 600, a little over 600 that you could accuse of rioting out of the 120,000.
I would
Right?
argue anybody that trespassed.
Okay, all right. So another 1,000 that trespassed.
I think we're up to 1,100 arrests right now, and that's most.
Okay, that's 1,100 out of 120,000. What would you call that?
Mostly peaceful.
So, right, and not only that, but think about Ray Epps. No, think about Ray Epps compared to Trump, okay? The influence both guys.
Wait, are you going to completely ignore what he said?
Will you let me
peacefully,
finish?
And you're going to completely ignore. Hold on, but
I look. This is exactly the way Destiny came at me, and I'm ready for it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Will you stop? Destiny came at me this exact same way. Okay. So. Okay, so Epps, yeah, he said that peacefully. Only after he was called out as a Fed. That's the only time he's recorded ever saying the peacefully part is after he was called out. Oh my. Okay. All right. So does it count for Trump? If it counts for Epps, it counts for Trump then, right? No. You're saying for me, but this is a legal issue now. So does it count for Trump?
No, Ray Epps got charged.
Slapped the shit
Right.
out of him
He
with
got
the
probation. He got fucking probation.
I also remember celebrities inciting violence on.
He got one of the weakest. He got one of the weakest charges out of anybody, and he very well may have been the ringleader.
He didn't even go into the Capitol.
He was at the steps. He was literally pushing a giant sign into ring leader. He was literally on the steps of the Capitol pushing a giant Trump sign into a line of police, and it's on video. That came up. That came up during his hearing, sentencing hearing.
You showed me a picture of him.
No, that actually did come up. Do you want me to tell you what the judge said during his hearing, which was private, but now we have a transcript supposedly. But the judge said that the sentencing was very hard because while he did take part in some of the melee and was also seen urging peace, and it went on like that a little bit, but at no point did he say anything about telling people to enter the Capitol. He never, and the judge's statement, he never mentioned that. Why would he not mention that? He's an Obama appointee, by the way. The judge. What the fuck? Okay.
Wait,
who gave me that? Fucking tell me what, you just get Riddle. You just give me a thumbs down. What's your fucking argument, dude? What did I do wrong?
I'm the one that made the noise because you're slurring around.
It's a lot of plausible deniability. Long story short, that's how I'm seeing it.
RW, I'm slurring around, am I?
Okay.
When you go back, yeah.
Yeah, well, how
Alright.
can you explain? Wait, hold on. How can you explain people like Owen Sawyer, who were telling people not to go into the Capitol, didn't go into the Capitol?
He was also
and yet
saying
he-
that Democrats should die and all that stuff, but which I think is okay, actually. But
Hey, I actually agree with you, Drone. I was just doing the thumbs down because RW made this sound. So
right, RW. What did I say that was wrong? I might have been slurring around. I'm sorry.
I'm having fun.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay. All
That's
right.
my
Fine. That's
bedtime,
fine.
So y'all have a good night.
What? You didn't
right,
even
man. Hope you
respond to
guys-
any of that, Cluck.
Yeah, we went through this on our last stream intensively. Like
You have a squirrel in your shirt.
the guy
A
also
little,
had
a little
testimony-
like
the guy also had testimony
chipmunk.
of the guy who
It's a
was
gerbil.
leading
It's
the
a
pack.
gerbil.
The guy also had testimony of the guy that first broke the barriers. He testified that Ray Epps told him to calm down. He also the one video you have where he was saying showed intent in actually going inside the Capitol. He was telling somebody to leave their pepper spray.
He
to
told
leave
one
the weapons they
person.
brought.
He told one person.
Okay, he also told one person that you're gonna storm the
After
Capitol.
telling probably hundreds, almost maybe
That you're gonna go
300.
to the Capitol. Yes.
I still cannot accept the defenses of Ray. It just seems to me of people clinging to like, I don't know. It makes no logical sense to me at all. I cannot
position is,
square
these are
with
the
it.
reasons why he was a light target for the FBI. Why it took them so long to get around to him. Why after he called them, they took him off the list.
Yeah.
You can say that it's a light sentence, and I might agree with you. I don't really know, and I don't really care.
They're trying.
but-
Look, dude, they're literally they're on the precipice of starting a civil war in order to imprison a guy for supposedly inciting this. But the guy who's literally on video telling people his plan is to storm the Capitol, you're telling me all of this shit that you're saying right now.
If it was Trump, I'm pretty sure you guys will go AWOL bonkers.
I just like my brain can't wrap around all of this.
Trump's got just a little bit more pull than a crazy boomer.
No, right, which is why I made which is what. Hold on, which is why I made the argument about the fact that over 120,000 people marched peacefully. How do you explain that? Like, if Trump was inciting a riot, where is the gigantic riot?
I explain that because every single fucking riot in the history of ever has most of their people not rioting.
There was way more than 300 people rioting through 2015 to 2020. Way more.
But every single riot.
Can we imprison all left-wingers, imprison them as traitors and insurrectionists? And you're out. Yoink.
Bye-bye.
Yoink. Yeah, I say let's start imprisoning. If Trump gets elected, we start imprisoning all fucking left-wingers. We imprison them and then charge them with insurrection throughout 2015 to 2020. We get all the Democrats, all the media mouthpieces who parroted all that bullshit all those years, all those lies, incited all those riots, got all those people killed, got all those businesses destroyed, and we put them in fucking Gitmo for the rest of their lives. How about that? Let's do it.
Who was the woman that was shot on the face?
Wait, hold on. So
at the Capitol, Haley Babbitt.
Just to be sure that you have your clip audio on or off. Because you could be.
I'm just saying.
That, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If we're gonna be consistent here, which we all know, all of us here know, it will never happen. Yes. Obviously, even if Trump wins, it'll never happen because this shit only happens one way because only one side has the institutional power to make it happen.
You know what's even crazier? I live in Connecticut, and my state was counted as one of the states that was part of the election fraud allegations. It turns out it was factual. Yeah, that sucks. That happened in Bridgeport. People can say what they want to, but yeah.
Hey, Aircraft Sparky, what's up, buddy?
Sorry. It did happen. How you doing? So, that being said, and it's not like I don't justify violence. But January 6th was not a violent thing, and also the people that were rightfully.
Well, it was.
I defend them. Well, it got at some point.
It was bad. Dude, when I watched it, I was like sick to my stomach. I'm like, why are these people doing this?
Let me clear it up and elaborate. However, there is such thing as something called the ROR, which is the right of revolution. I did mention this like a while ago before someone started attacking Dronetek's Discord servers before it all got shut down. That's something I did mention the ROR. And so, because we do have the right to exercise freedom to express and have political movements, what the people were doing in the Capitol was exactly that, which was practicing the ROR. Nothing about that was a violent insurrection.
It wasn't a violent insurrection, but it was a riot. It wasn't all that bad. To sit there and say that it was the end of the world, a threat to democracy, and everything else is a fucking farce in itself. When you look at things like May 29th and 30th, where a bunch of leftist rioters burned Secret Service checkpoints and set a church ablaze across the street from the White House, that was actually a legitimate revolution. What about the Chop and Chaz? Okay, they actually claimed that they seceded from the fucking Union, and Donald Trump was too much of a coward pussy to mobilize federal troops to surround that area and deal with those actual rebellious insurrectionists properly.
I don't think he had the authority.
He did have the authority. It's in the Constitution.
I'm pretty sure he just had the authority to go and protect the federal and state buildings, which he did.
He has the authority to suspend the Constitution under the Posse Comitatus Act, where he can actually use federal troops on supposed American citizens who have renounced their citizenship.
Very anti-American to suspend the Constitution to deal with. That sounds pretty anti-American.
Yeah,
we'll just take the rules. We're gonna put them over here. Like I deal with these 12 kids.
People were being murdered. People were being murdered by those 12 kids, and they were not allowing EMS or police to go in there to handle it. Okay, we're talking. They were stealing actual land and property from rightful landowners, claiming that they were their own little fucking stupid, anarchist paradise or whatever. And no, what they did was actual insurrection, and it is very simple. Once they claim that they are no longer American citizens, they are no longer protected by the Constitution.
Naturally rejecting authoritarianism, I personally like my federalism to be local, then state, then federal, and not saying that the federal government can supersede the laws voted on by the people of that area. Just go in and arrest whoever they want.
Well, I mean, that's called the Federal Supremacy Clause. That's in the Constitution.
I'm just being more.
I mean, if you're about doing away with the Constitution, that's
liberty,
cool and all.
pro-liberty guy myself. I'd rather lean toward the other way.
What about the liberty of the people that were held hostage by those insurrectionists? What about their liberty, huh?
You got proof of that?
Yeah,
I think your dogs are getting kinky back there.
There was people that were being stripped down by those groups.
I'm gonna need you to send me some videos and cite that.
One's neuters, one's spaded. They're fine.
Foxy Spinks. Yeah, right here.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah. Send it to me.
Take left. Never mind. I take that all back.
I'll take your word. I'm gonna just need you to send me the proof though.
It wasn't good. I use Chop and Chaz as my examples of something worse in terms of insurrection than what Trump did. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was an.
I think you're just going an
You're
actual.
still saying Trump did when he didn't do any of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was an insurrection.
Chop and Chaz are just scratching the surface. Even look what they were doing. That was like a civil war there almost.
I would have no problem if they used federal soldiers on those kids and taught them a fucking lesson. There's nothing wrong with that.
Idiot communists.
There is crazy video that most people have never seen from that whole era. Like, I remember watching streams where there were these mobs roaming through neighborhoods in different cities, and they were just like randomly attacking cops that had like set up, literally like mobs that would just overwhelm these like groups of cops. I have no idea what happened to these people, but I remember watching these streams, and that shit's gone, never to be like spoken of or heard of again. That's
the point I was making to you earlier, is that like these areas of vote, they vote on your police chief, you vote on your DA, you vote on the people that make the law, and they tell their police, like, you can ask the officers on the ground, they're like, these are the orders we got, don't go after those guys. So like, you really have to blame the voter in the area more than you blame the individual police officer for those actions.
So
no,
do we think that the
blame
police,
the cops
do we
for not
think,
enforcing the law?
But they're under order.
Oh yeah, that's what the Nazis were doing too. They were just following orders, so it's completely fine.
Yeah,
you hear that a lot in the audit videos where the police get caught on their shit and they're like, I'm just doing my job. You see that a lot.
Yeah. just doing their jobs. Yeah, whatever. The Reichstag fire and everything else.
I mean,
well, it's like
no,
you took an oath to the Constitution, yet you're like openly violating it. You moron.
They were using orders to justify evil actions. These police are using orders to not do anything. It's a little bit different.
Not doing something is an act of evil. It's called the banality of evil.
Yeah, it's a little different though than fucking like actually actively doing something to harm somebody. Though. It's a little bit less.
Right.
I guess.
I mean, like that's the thing. Like,
what if? How about this? What if you do nothing and then you punish the people that are doing something, like Rittenhouse?
That's up to the DAs. And shit. Like these are DAs that are getting voted. I completely agree with you on the George Soros funded DA point. You're not going to get any funding from me there, but that's the level that people control. And it's the same thing you see with school districts that like allow like the porn and shit in. It's because parents in those areas vote in the people to the school board that allow that, and they let it happen. They find out it's happening. They keep voting them in. So like a lot of people, you have to kind of just accept that other people want some of this shit in their area. This is the politics they like.
Yeah, when the quote unquote people claim that they have succeeded from the fucking union, they don't have protections anymore. You give them exactly what they ask for.
That's the whole. I agree. I don't like Chaz and Chop. I just don't think that sending federal troops in is the answer. Like, it's
why don't we have like a yearly anniversary about Chaz and Chop? Like everybody gets remembered. Like remember when left wingers did this to our country.
George Floyd autonomous zone is still up.
George Floyd autonomous zone.
It's still going. Yeah.
Are we? Bro, what the fuck is wrong with them? It already came out that it already came out that the man who it already came out that the man with the autopsy. Bro, the man who did the autopsy was admitted that he got bullied by the Democrats in order to falsify the autopsy, and said that the man was strangled.
No, that's a little more extreme than what he said.
That is not, okay. It's still a paraphrase, but he admitted that he got bullied into falsifying the autopsy.
Look, I'm somebody that's done a lot of heroin in my life. I could tell you that when you get a tolerance, the amount of fentanyl Floyd died in the system with is like less than half of what junkies overdose on. It was like 12.
I see what you're saying about that, but it shouldn't matter. Even if your tolerance is high, like if you take a certain amount, it's still gonna have the same effect. I don't. Is that actually? I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
They said it was 11. They said it was 11.
Right. I see what you're saying. I don't know if that applies. To be honest,
they still said it was a lethal dose that he had.
Yeah, but I can show you junkies dying with 25 in their system.
Okay, that's understandable, but they said
it's a medical assumption.
Was 11. That was already
11's a lethal dose for you. Absolutely, you'll die on this.
So
11 might kill me
today.
So like 10 years ago, 11's a normal dose. I'm doing 11 maybe once or twice a day.
Hey, welcome, Dak. He just joined us.
Congratulations.
I'm just saying, like that's how tolerance works. I'm not bragging about it.
All right, that's understandable. You know, I mean, shit. You know, that's fine.
Noted.
What's up?
Do you think that? So you think that? It's so weird. Like I understand about the police problem and stuff, but when it comes to the Floyd thing, for some reason I get a little defensive about it. I don't know why, because it has nothing to do with the guy being black. It's not that, and in fact, like the media and everybody. No, like the media tried to make that out like it was all racial, right? But racism was never even like alleged at any point.
No, it wasn't. And then the funny thing is, once he came out and admitted that he falsified the autopsy, first of all, he should have been. I'm glad that he testified to that. Second of all, he should have still faced some form of punishment. Chauvin got stabbed the moment this became public announcement, which is insane.
I think he's a bad cop. I think there's enough, but I don't think he intentionally planned to kill Floyd.
I don't think so either. I don't think. I will politely disagree that he's a bad cop. But
the length that he held that position was absurd.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. This is basically standard. And even
right. I don't give a shit about police standards. A lot of police standards are fucking. They're idiots.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's horrible," and that's based on your feelings and not any experience. Okay, if you're holding a person still who's freaking the fuck out, you hold them there regardless if
get
they're like,
you.
let me up, fuck them.
Right, I get you on that.
All right.
It's such a
I've
murky
broken
thing.
Haji's fingers just for looking at me funny at ECPs and fobs.
What? Sparky, you're not a cop, are you?
No, I was a soldier though.
What were
And
you
when
gonna
you-
say,
Oh, man,
Dank?
hey, man, thanks.
Hold on, I want to hear Dank. Gang, go for it, man.
All right. So can we all just agree that cops shouldn't be shoving their knees into people's backs?
I disagree.
And
No,
their necks?
I disagree.
Yeah,
You don't.
there are
You don't.
reasons
Okay,
for
let
doing
me
that.
tell you a
There
story.
are.
Okay, well, hold on a second.
I
Let me
don't
tell
need
you
a story.
all
You
right?
asked a question and I answered it. No,
It's
I
story
disagree.
time.
No, I agree.
Well,
with you.
let me tell you a story anyway. Let me tell you a story anyway.
Use a
Because
little song
Aircraft
now.
Sparky wanted something. Aircraft
I'd
Sparky
like to
wants
say
something from personal experience. This is something from personal experience.
Okay.
So about what was I? 17.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
slow
probably
zoom
16,
in on your
17
face
years
for
old.
this in the video.
Oh no, this was about 18 years old. I was right out of Job Corps. I'd come back home, was
Job
hanging out
Corps,
with
cool.
friends. We got some acid. Got some sugar cubes.
Nice.
I took a couple of sugar cubes and had some more in my pocket, and over the course of I let a couple melt in my hand. So I was going off of about 4, dank ass sugar cubes. I was gone.
Nice.
Ended up
Been
leaving
there.
leaving my buddy's house that we were tripping at, and started walking down the neighborhood. Walking around out of my mind so much, I guess maybe I had to piss or something. I ended up taking my pants down. Was walking around with my pants around my ankles. By the time somebody had seen me and called the cops, police showed up and they was trying to wrangle me and whatnot. They got
And
me on the
bang you.
ground. They was trying to cuff me. One of them wanted to shove his knee into my back. Well, I'm busted off of acid. And apparently, as he goes to shove his knee into my back, I rolled over, and he shoves his knee into the concrete. So it's not just the person that they're arresting that they shouldn't be shoving their knee into somebody for. It's for their own damn good. Because if they blow their knee out, then they're no good. Then the city has to pay them for what? For being fucking retarded.
No, actually, what'll happen? The truth of
feel
what'll
like
happen
that's
in that
different.
scenario is you'll
Yeah.
actually get charged with assault on an officer, and
That's
you'll end
not
up
right.
having to pay.
That shouldn't happen. Though. I don't
Hey,
think
you
that
know
should
what?
happen.
Hey, let me tell you a story.
But
I
that's
robbed
what
the,
they do.
I ro- let me
Did you
tell you a
guys?
story.
Did you guys
I
hear about
robbed the
this
bank
guy
once.
who just
No,
got
no, hold on,
charged?
Joan. No,
We're
hold on.
talking over each other. We're talking over each other. Thank you.
Yeah, hold on, Drone. Just come
Let
on. You're
Riddle
loud.
go. He's gonna tell the story I was going to. Guys.
Yeah, I got a great story. I robbed a bank once, and a cop tried to, arrest me for it. He stubbed his toe. It's for their own good that this shouldn't be existing.
We should have a campfire for this.
We should defund the police for that.
Yeah, look,
Stupid
a
ass.
soldier threw his back out once
You're
wearing
really
body
You're
armor.
really beating the shit out of that scarecrow, aren't you?
With his big toe.
I just think it's ridiculous.
Dubbing on
You've
it.
got to subdue people and whatever, and they have methods to do it. They're trained on how to do it, and it's not about being nice. It's about actually subduing the freaking
Right.
person they're arresting.
Right.
You have to use violence at times. That's
Okay,
just
what
the
does it
reality
say-
of their
what does it say
job.
on their
Listen,
car?
All right, so I'm gonna give you a big perspective. There's a reason why cops will some. I'm not saying all. Some will give you a warning before they start firing at you for doing something stupid.
Has
You got-
anybody else
you
in here
literally
been
have to like this is why I don't know why people think that they're above the law, right? When a cop asks you to do something, you do it, right?
Well,
Something that's
no, wait. Let me stop you. That's not true.
I said
No,
constitutional.
Yeah.
One second,
If a
military.
cop stops you because you're recording on a public sidewalk, you can tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yes, and laugh.
I'd like to hear
Seriously.
military.
Literally, you can tell them that. You can flip
If you
them
get
off.
pulled over
If
and-
they do anything, you're gonna sue the shit out of them.
I was gonna give
Wait, hold on,
examples.
hold on. Do you
Guys,
think that's a good thing?
Let's just give military a chance to say a word or two? Because
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Don't say that. Don't say it just because cops give you an order, you have to follow it. Because that's
No,
not
I
true.
was-
You have rights.
you
You
cut
have
me
rights,
off.
and you should stand up.
But you cut me off.
Gentlemen.
You cut me off and you didn't let me finish. I was going to
All
say
right, go ahead,
constitutional. I was going to give examples.
Gentlemen.
Go ahead.
Gentlemen, okay, I'm not one for interrupting. I believe in respect. That's why I'm going to sit back and not say anything better than everybody talking at the same time. I'm former law enforcement. I'm 30 years law enforcement. I went to Iraq for 6.5 years. I worked directly for the Pentagon. I know exactly how this stuff is going down. There's so many topics I wanted to jump in and talk about, but right now you're talking about Derek Chauvin and what he did wrong. Let me tell you exactly what he did wrong. In training, they tell you to put your knee on someone's back. Now, when I was in law enforcement, you had the ability to look and see the totality of circumstances. When Floyd was thought to be under some type of influence, immediately Chauvin should have subdued him to the point of calling EMS.
Right.
It becomes a medical situation, not a law situation. That's where he went wrong. This whole
I
idea-
agree. I
hold
agree
on,
about that.
hold on. No. So there's context that is possibly missing. You may have not seen it. So there's video of him being arrested. They placed him, they cuffed him, they placed him in the truck, and he started freaking out, screaming about how he couldn't breathe.
They
should
couldn't
have
even
left
get
his-
him in the truck. He was trying
They
to
should
fight
have. No, they got him in the truck. They got the door
got him,
closed and everything. And,
I know
and he started freaking out. They should have left his black ass in there to calm the fuck down. They should have never pulled him out.
Look, once you get
I
someone
agree
in a
with that
car,
too, actually.
Riddle
I agree with that.
Leave his black ass in there.
Not the
That
black
doesn't
ass part,
change.
but
Hey man,
That
I'm
doesn't-
Yeah, that part
I'm
was
black
part
ass, white
myself.
ass. Keep his ass in
man.
there.
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't matter
change.
what color his ass is, but the problem is everyone wants to set different
Hold on.
standards because of the color of the man's skin.
Hold on.
The
True.
reality is they
that doesn't change.
tried to accommodate him, and then his overdose, the results of the drugs that were in his system, he died from those.
Look,
Yeah.
listen, that doesn't
Give
change
Vet a
what I'm
chance to
saying.
respond.
Hold on, just take it, please. That doesn't change what I'm saying. In my experience, when I have someone that I believe is under the influence of anything, doesn't matter what it is, I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. Once I get him in the car, and you're correct, I am aware of that. Once I get him in the car or in the truck, that he's at the safest point he could be until EMS arrives. That's what should have happened. They shouldn't have accommodated him to get back out of the car because he claimed he wanted to be on the ground. So they gave him what he wanted, and now you've got a gentleman sitting in prison for murder.
Yeah, I don't think he should be in
This
prison.
whole thing is crazy.
Can I ask a question?
He's a bad
Like,
cop, but
Yeah,
I
disagree with him being a bad cop.
Did
I don't
anyone
know
here
if he was
watch
a
the
bad
trial?
cop.
This is going to
most
sound
cops
crazy.
are bad, to be honest. But yeah.
Most
Did
cops are
anyone
bad.
hear-
but
Hey,
not
guys,
this
guys,
amount.
can we cut it, please?
This
I
is
think-
going to sound crazy for a
They
guy
don't mean to
that's
be.
former
They're
law
just
enforcement.
ignorant.
Right. This is going to sound crazy coming from a guy that's former law enforcement, working for the feds, working for the Pentagon, but there are no good cops. The institution now is completely corrupted from the top down.
Yeah,
I heard
it
somebody
is.
mention it earlier. Posse Comitatus. They don't
Jesus
even need
Christ.
to worry about that. That's gone to the wayside. They have armed the police now with this war on drugs and the civil asset forfeiture and all this other crap that's going on. We have a standard military force in every single city. And to think that when one guy there on the microphone said, "Oh well, I'd rather have things done at a local level as opposed to a federal level." Well, let me tell you something. The Fraternal Order of Police is backed by the federal government. That every single one of the police officers is working for the executive branch of the government. Therefore, you don't have a local
Sorry,
police.
guys. I
It's
just wanted
all
to pop in
federal.
real quick.
All right.
So
Dang.
hold up, because a lot of that was
I feel like
addressed to me.
crap, so I'm
Good
not
to hear
gonna
from
be
you,
here.
buddy.
Y'all
Thanks
have
for
a good
See
stopping
you
by.
later, Dave.
Yep.
See ya. See ya.
So first off, the reason George Floyd or Derek Chauvin was arrested wasn't that he put his knee on somebody's back. It wasn't that he held his airway down. It wasn't that they accommodated his request. It was that when the man became unresponsive, he didn't alter his action. So he never took the knee off of his neck to check if he was all right. He never signified EMS needed to hurry up until it was far too late. People were screaming at him, "That guy's unconscious. Get off of him." And he never even shuddered. That was what got him in trouble. Secondly, these civil asset forfeitures have been around for decades. If, to be completely honest, they're a comparable nothing burger to what they used to be. Police don't have the same powers and rights they used to. We were talking about the golden age of policing before body camera. Now there's not official courtesy for officers. Oh, you're a cop. You're not going to jail. That doesn't happen anymore. We're in a society where police have the most transparency they've ever had. We're in a much better place than we've ever been in that regard.
I agree. It's at a much better place, but Clearly, like I still see videos every day that show that like there's still a lot of work to be
Yeah.
done. There's a lot of police out there who are
There's
so
work to be
freaking ignorant, man.
Well,
Departments
so hold
and
on.
cities,
But you guys both
cities
literally
that are
said,
ignorant as hell.
And then
You
are we
guys-
going to talk
you guys
about the?
both?
I think personally, I'm looking at the body cam footage I see, and just for reference, I'm looking at videos of people trying their damnedest not to harm the suspects or people that they come in contact with that they have to apprehend, and they end up either getting themselves killed or hurt because they are afraid to apprehend the individual due to them getting Derek Chauvin, if that makes sense.
Also,
so when I
yeah.
see that, it's like, dude, what the fuck,
Also, body cam footage studies show that body cams get the police off of trouble much more often than they get the citizen
Really?
off of trouble.
Is that
Okay.
true?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
well, let me ask you this: has anybody here heard of the difference between malum in se and malum prohibitum?
Elaborate.
I'm sorry, say that again. I can barely hear you.
I'm asking him to elaborate.
Malum in se versus malum prohibitum.
Elaborate.
Oh, is this some kind of lawsuit using Latin terminology? or
No,
something?
well, actually, all legalese is different words used that the government uses. Legalese.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me explain it to you this way. When
Sure.
you go to a doctor,
Legal
they use a
sleaze?
different language called Latin. It makes them sound more important or of higher authority than you. A doctor surely knows what they're doing because they're writing prescriptions in Latin. Well,
What's
that's
your
the
point?
same. Okay, well, that's the same with the military. The military uses different terms. They call nomenclatures. They don't call things a tank. They call them an M1A1. They don't call that a rifle. They call it an M16. Okay, that's so the general public doesn't quite understand the language that they're using. Well, in the legal world, Black's Law and Bouvier's dictionary law, there are legal terms, and one of the legal terms, like for instance, an automobile is a non-legal term. A legal term for an automobile is a vehicle, that thing that uses goods and services from one location to another. Well, that's commerce. Here's another one.
Okay, so
Driver.
what about like a 5.34 liter Chevy, or what do they call it? Whatever the
You
fuck they
can
call
turn
it.
a 5.3
Is that also just to confuse the populace? Is it also a
No,
conspiracy theory or what?
that's particular to a certain type of automobile.
Oh, okay.
But
So it's
what
a certain.
I'm trying to say,
So how
you
is
can
everything
turn
not? How is everything not customized? I don't understand your
Okay,
logic. It doesn't make
you
sense.
can turn that 5.3 liter Chevy into a vehicle when you go down to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and if you look up right now online what a motor vehicle is, the legal definition of a motor vehicle, what is that? 18 USC 31. You can look that up. I pull laws out of my head.
Do I have to Google this right now? Okay, sure. 18. What'd you say? You want to post it?
18 USC 31.
18 USC 31 is what you're saying?
Yeah, and go down to section 6.
Yeah,
if I'm
okay,
not
so
mistaken.
you have the link up right now, right? You can post it if you want.
Well,
It'd
I'm
be easier
I'm
for me.
on a phone. I'm just looking at you guys. I'm not looking at anything else.
You're on a phone.
Yeah, I'm on the
18
phone.
Okay, 18 USC 31. Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not that hard.
Go down to section 6.
Code
and you'll
31
find the
definitions
legal definition.
law.cornell.edu. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Oh, it's a Cornell Law School. Okay, so here we are. So what's the point you're proving?
What's a motor vehicle? Go down to section 6.
Section 6. The term motor vehicle means every description of carriage or other contrivance propelled or drawn by mechanical power and underlined used for commercial purposes on the highways and the transportation of passengers.
Okay.
Passengers and property or cargo. Now, what defines all those terms that were used to describe this
Right.
motor
So
vehicle?
there's legal. What I'm trying to say is there are legal terms. Clearly,
Okay.
if you're retired or if you're not employed, if you're not working, you're not a driver because a driver is the person that's employed.
Okay.
Then clearly, if you don't have a vehicle, you wouldn't register it with the Department of Motor Vehicles. If you have an automobile, you get what I'm saying? So there's a difference between the terms. Okay. Do you have a license plate on your car right now?
Do I have a license to drive?
A license plate.
Do I have a license plate on my vehicle?
Did you register it with a DMV?
Yes.
Why? Do you work for someone?
Yes, I do.
Now remember, you're getting this from a cop. But okay, so you do work for
you're
someone.
doing a great job. You're doing a great job so far.
Hold on.
Just to put it out there, I also watch Sovereign Citizen videos too.
No,
Fuck,
wait,
dude.
stop.
Come on, dude. Are you a real cop? You
Hold
work.
on.
This is what I'm getting from a 6.5
Give him a
year.
chance to
Someone
finish
said
at least.
sovereign citizen.
Okay,
Someone said
sure. Go ahead.
Someone said sovereign citizen. Well, let's go back to that 14th Amendment of the Constitution. A sovereign citizen, a citizen is a subject. You can't be a sovereign and a subject. That's an oxymoron. And that term was made up by the federal government. I can tell you what year, 1994.
Okay.
Now, we go back to what I'm saying about legal definitions. If you registered your car, your private conveyance with the Department of Motor Vehicles, you did it and you converted it into a government entity. You don't own that car anymore. You have to pay property taxes on it every year. If you hadn't done that, you would be the owner of it. Now, you have to get a loadial title and all that stuff. So we're talking
How do
all
you
legal.
how do you drive it on the road then? How do you play the game?
How do you play the game? Okay.
How do you drive your car on the road without playing that game?
Well, it's a long conversation, but number one, you can't, as a citizen resident, do that. What you have to do is you have to set up paperwork, write 5 letters out, and then you go to the one's got to go to Department of State, one's got to go to DMV, one's got to go to the governor of your state, and let them know that you're no longer a citizen because you're not a subject. You're now an American national. And you'll get all the same amenities and everything else as any of these illegal aliens that come in here who don't have to have driver's licenses, who don't have to go, they can go and buy a gun, and they're not regulated to show any background checks. Did you know that?
Are you paying taxes
Because
as a national?
they're their own diplomats.
Are you
Diplomatic
paying
immunity.
taxes as a national?
No.
Well, damn, brother.
Nope.
Are you not paying taxes?
I mean, it
Well,
sounds like
I'm not personally paying taxes. I'm 100% disabled veteran. I got shot a few times, while in Iraq, but that's beside the point.
If they spell your name
As
in
a
all
diplomat,
uppercase, it's not you.
As a diplomat, there's a lot of things. Your house becomes loadial property. It actually becomes a place where the diplomat lives. There's a whole, I could take you down that whole thing. But the reason I brought this up is the terms legalese, when it comes to malum in se and malum prohibitum. Malum in se means the evils on their face. You can look these terms up as well. A malum in se law is things like rape, incest, murder, assault, theft. When there's a victim, you've heard that term, no victim, no crime. You hear all the left, all these crazy left talk about, well, we need to defund the police. We need to defund the police. But no, actually what we need to do is we need to go back to malum in se laws and screw all these malum prohibitum laws. Malum prohibitum laws are laws where some edicts of some guy said, well, we're going to make this a law that you can't go out on a Thursday with red shoes. Now it's a law. Look at the drug laws. Back the 18th Amendment. Did anybody know the 18th Amendment?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, the 18th Amendment. The 18th Amendment was the prohibition of alcohol. In order to take someone's rights in the United States of America, because your rights as an individual, in order for the government to take your rights, they have to make an amendment to the Constitution to supersede that right. Well, in order to give that right back, they have to make another amendment to give that right back. The 18th Amendment is prohibition of alcohol. The 21st Amendment is that amendment giving that right back. Let me ask you a question. What amendment did they give for marijuana, heroin, cocaine, or all these other supposed illicit drugs that Pfizer wants to be the one to mandate?
Can I ask you a question, actually? What are we even arguing at this point?
Okay. What I'm saying is we need to get the cops back to what they're supposed to be doing. Malum in se laws, not malum prohibitum.
Oh, how do you think that we do that, though?
Well, it's real.
Who do you think is ultimately responsible for getting our cops back to what they should be?
We the people.
We the people. Okay, so who votes for that? What do we vote for?
Okay, how it starts is someone like me coming to a group like you. That's how it starts.
Well, what's your initial? No. What's your initial process of we the people? What do you think? Because we vote for what? Who do we vote for?
Someone mentioned something about local.
Who do we vote for?
You're assuming it's voting.
Yeah, well, that's
okay. Yeah, I mean, we had to start we had to start peacefully, right? That's the first process, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, peacefully. Let me ask you this: does anybody here know what the United States flag stands for?
Oh my fucking god, dude!
No. This is very serious. This is important. Anybody knows what the flag stands for?
There's 50
America.
stars for 50 states and 13 stripes for the original 13.
That's the description of the different parts of the flag.
Sure, yeah, and the blood.
That's what it stands for, America.
All the blood that we shed.
So it actually depends What it
The blood
stands
that we
for.
shed is the sacrifice for what it stands for. Freedom is the symptom of what we get for what it stands for.
It stands
Nobody
for the
knows what it
Republic.
stands for.
Stands
Thank
for
you.
the
Who said
Republic.
that?
Is that
Who
why
said
you
that?
got is that why you got so triggered by the blue line?
Well, hold on. Okay, yeah, earlier I got triggered by the
Sparky
blue
said
line. I
that.
did. I can
Sparky's
agree
a
by that.
vet too.
I got
Sure.
triggered by the blue line. Okay, the blue
Yeah, you
line.
did.
Yeah, I did earlier. I got triggered. Let me ask you a question. The blue
Go ahead.
line flag, the United States flag is something that unifies us all. I agree with the host 100% on that, the one that said that. It's the
For sure.
unification.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
John. Yeah,
Okay,
we all agree. We all agree.
right. What is the purpose of the blue line flag? Does it represent every single taxpayer? No, it doesn't represent us at all. It represents the cops alone. It singles them out. It separates
See,
them
okay,
from we
so
the people
so that
who
that
pay
sounds
them.
that sounds like an emotional reaction. That's your personal story that you're telling right now because you
Well,
were supposedly 30 years in law enforcement and 6.5
It's
years
the
in the
reason
Pentagon,
I
right?
quit. It's the reason I quit.
The reason you quit? Why'd you join the
It's the,
Pentagon afterwards?
well, so
it's the reason I
here's the
quit the whole
deal.
thing. It's the
Here's
reason I
the
quit the
deal.
whole
I
thing.
kind of get where he's coming from. So all these different types of flags, blue line, red line, green line, all these different line flags. It's actually defacement of the flag, which is the symbol of the Republic of America. Under
Yes,
U.S. flag code, you actually cannot do that. When it
that's
has
right.
a gold fringe around it, it's talking about the corporation of America.
That's
By
the
the
Jolly
way,
Rogers, the corporation. You're correct. And the corporations was flown in every single
military
court system that
tribunal.
we have. When you walk into a court system, it signifies a ship. It signifies coming in on boarding a ship.
Okay, so again, let's digress a little bit. I'll ask you again. How do you think that we fix this as a people?
Okay. One,
And
we
when
got
you
to
say
stop saying,
we the people, what do you mean by that?
well, okay, there are 4 branches of government. And I'm getting ready to hear, oh, no, there's not. Oh, no, there's not. The Constitution lists 4 branches of government.
Oh no,
Even though,
there's not.
hold on, hold on. Hold on.
Go
I
ahead.
hear
I've
you
been
say, oh, no,
listening.
there's not. Let
Go
me
ahead.
explain
I didn't
why.
say that. I didn't say that.
Wait a
Go
minute.
ahead.
Let me explain why there are 4 branches of government.
Yeah, the
Article
media,
1,
right?
Article 1 starts off with the House and Senate.
Uh-huh.
Article 2 is the executive branch, and Article 3 is the court system, the judicial branch. And everyone says, well, that clearly shows there are 3 branches of government, right? Well, no, wrong. Article 1 should have been listed as Article 2. Article 2 should have been listed Article 3, and Article 3 should have been listed Article 4. Because the preamble of the Constitution, we the people, is how it starts. That's the first branch of government, and it's the last say in government.
Okay.
When government is institute laws. Laws get created by the House and Senate. Then they go to the executive branch. They go to the judicial branch. The executive branch goes out and makes sure that these laws are enforced. Then it goes to the judicial branch for adjudication. And we, the people, through jury nullifications, could say whether that law is any good or not. If I go down right now and I'm part of a jury, as we, the people, and I go to I'm sitting in the jury, and they say, well, we got a video of this guy with 50 pounds of heroin and 50 pounds of cocaine. Here's a video. And he come out and said, well, you caught me. I did it. If I'm sitting in the jury, I'm saying not guilty, because that's my say. I'm the 4th branch of government. It's the first one listed. It's the last one who has a say.
All right, we understand the concept of the we the people. What is your understanding of the solution for the broken system?
So hold on. Let me interject here. So when you're talking about in Article 1, 2, and 3, you're talking about the 3 separate co-equal branches of government. The 4th branch is, you're saying, the people, is not a co-equal branch. It's actually the thing that gives the government justification of existence.
That's correct. And it has the final say.
Yes. So now when you talk about jury nullification, what happens exactly if you even utter the word jury nullification in a court?
Well, of course, the government's going to buck you. They're going to buck you big time. The government.
What exactly happens?
Well, you number one, you tossed out. You could go to contempt of court.
Yeah, they're going to put bracelets on you if you're sitting in a jury pool and you utter the word jury nullification.
Well, we're not saying that they're constitutional. I'm not saying that the government is doing anything lawful. That's not my claim. They're the one. The system is broken. Of course, there are going to be people that go to jail. I mean, look, you got people going to jail right now for things they didn't do. Let me ask you this.
So myself and another creator are actually looking at being arrested, more than likely on trespassing charges due to being on the grounds of the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
The People's House. You're right.
Yes, the People's House.
Right. The People's House.
So,
Being on the grounds of the People's House.
yeah. So, I mean, I completely understand that our government doesn't follow their own rules. It's rules for thee, not for me.
That's right.
It's a common thing, but I will tell you, there is no legal course of action that will be accepted by any court in America to usurp their authority.
Okay,
that just doesn't exist because they will not accept that.
Well, if you noticed, in most courtrooms now, there isn't even a jury. Look, you got
strange.
You gotta understand, you've been fooled from the top all the way down. Corporations run everything.
What do you mean you?
The
Give us some
corporation
credit.
do what?
I mean, it's a blanket statement when you say you. I mean, some of us have a little bit of credit in this field of not being deceived everywhere.
Okay, well taken. I stand corrected on that. But what I'm trying to say is the majority of the people in the United States of America have this government belief system. It's become like a religion. Look, in first and second grade, Santa Claus absolutely exists. You'll have a total stranger who's an adult to come up and talk to you as a child about Santa being real. Come about the third or fourth grade, you start waking up and realizing that the whole thing is a facade. Well, that's how they believe in government. People believe they have to have a driver's license. They believe they have to have a marriage license. They believe they got to have a hunt license and a fishing license. And because the belief system's so strong,
brother, no, I understand that you have things to say on this subject.
Yeah, we need a license for our rights. I'm with you, man.
I would like to see the digress to this answer to the question of what you believe
how
the
do we
solution
fix it?
is.
Okay, how we fix it is we educate everybody, number one, that we do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. And what does that mean?
That's a democracy. It's a form of democracy.
No,
no,
it actually isn't. It actually isn't. It is a republic. There are definite differences there.
It's not. We're not a strict republic, though, right?
No,
I'll give you the difference.
We are a constitutional republic with democratic processes.
Right. Exactly.
And to sit there and to bastardize it by calling it a democracy.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
The democratic process is a verb. It's not a noun. We don't live in it.
No,
now,
I agree.
If we go by what the flag stands for, it's individual rights, individual liberties, and individual responsibilities. This one concept fixes every single thing wrong with this nation. Pick any topic. Let's say, for instance, abortion. If I was a 17-year-old boy standing in front of a judge and say, Your Honor, I got my whole life ahead of me. I can't have a child right now. The judge will look at me as a male and will say, you should have thought about that before you willingly stuck your penis in the vagina. The result was the pregnancy. Well, what about a woman then? Shouldn't she be held responsible for her actions to willingly open her legs and the responsibility to be in a pregnancy?
This is another tangent. It's a tangent, though. It's
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we agree, dude. The tangents that you're going on, we agree with you on, but you're not providing any real solution to these tangents that you're complaining about. No, I'm not trying to give you shit or anything like that.
No. You're
preaching to the choir, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Law.
I'm trying to give you shit, dude. We agree with you.
No,
so I'll tell you the whole story. There's nothing that you can do until you actually have a part of the government that will actually agree with you, and that is not going to happen because that would require them to give up an amount of power that they have.
Well,
so the people. The last time the people, quote unquote, stepped up and tried to do something like that, last time I checked, there's about 1,200 people that are still awaiting trial, and over 1,000 more awaiting to be arrested and detained by the FBI for simply being on public land.
I agree with some portions of that, but I think a majority of those people simply wanted to go into the Capitol because the doors were let open and everybody was going in. They're like, wow, we're being allowed to come in.
I would say there was about 900 people that were like that.
Yeah, that's a good estimate.
I don't think they just walked in, the doors were open. They were right. They didn't realize there was any kind of
right.
No. See, I will push back on that. I was there. No, if you didn't know,
I would say
there's something happened that day, then you were blind and a fool. Okay,
Well,
look.
Okay.
I was.
That's why I said-
was
okay.
there. I watched it happen. And you can see the film
I would
of
say
it.
there's like a gradient. I would say there's like a gradient between
Right, but
the
that's how a lot
riot,
of people-
the riot, and then going back to the mass of like about 1,000 people that were behind him, and like probably a lot of them.
When you watch videos of elderly people walking through there like it's a parade, and
Right,
and they're
exactly.
shaking
That's
hands,
what I mean.
they're shaking their hands with the cops, and the cops are patting them on the back and saying, "Well, come in this room," or the guy.
There
with
were
the,
journalists and stuff who walked in, right? Like just behind
Right.
the
So,
crowd.
you know,
That's what I mean. That's
exactly.
what I mean.
Yeah, it just. But
Who got
the point
charged
is-
later, by the way.
And we act
Some
like
of
we're
them
free. We act like
Right,
we're
some
free in the
of them.
United States, but we haven't been free since what you want to call the Civil War, which wasn't the Civil War. Had two presidents and two established governments. So it was a war between two countries. They keep calling it the Civil War because Abraham Lincoln did not want to acknowledge the South as its own entity. That was
But he
part of it.
actually did acknowledge
I
the
really
South as
hate
its own
connecting
entity.
anything going on now to the Civil War. I really hate
Well,
it.
I-
Like, why?
I
Why?
understand that.
What connection is there? There's none.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, the Lieber Code. That's the connection.
Explain. I don't know about this.
Okay, the Lieber Code is when two warring countries are fighting, in order for the war to end, there has to be a peace treaty of surrender. We only had two generals surrender two armies in West Virginia. The Lieber Code states that if you, like when I was in Iraq, we were the invading army at the time. We were the ones in control of everything. We had custody. If the people wanted to go out and go places, they had to get a pass, a piece of paper, and permission from the army to go from point A to point B.
Under martial law situation. Right.
That's exactly how that war treaty was never signed of surrender. It was between two armies, not between two countries. So we are still
are you
under
like
right
some
now.
kind of Confederate holdout or something? What is this?
No,
Are you making an
I'm not a
argument
Confederate
that
holdout. Listen, no, you misinterpreting what I'm saying. We are still under the War Powers Act. If you look right now, they've never gotten rid of the War Powers Act. Everywhere you go, you're surveilled. People talk about, well, the Fourth Amendment, we got to write the Fourth Amendment. Really? Well, the government's convinced you with your Fourth Amendment to put that your personal property on the back of your private automobile when you go out in public. But don't worry, nobody else can read it except the government.
That's a really
And you're
good point,
supposed to be
actually.
private
That's a
from the
really good
government.
point. That's a really good point, actually. You know what? I never had considered that, but you're right. Like, we willingly give up our Fourth Amendment by putting our license plate on there. I had never even thought about that, but you're right. It's weird. That's a weird because you gotta, like, if you have a vehicle, you've got to be able to connect that, to a person, right? But you are giving up your Fourth Amendment, right?
But if it's your private property that you're using for travel, you're not required. That's for. See, when it all started out, with,
you know what it should do. You know what it should do. The license plate should reference a very basic set of information that I don't know. There needs to be some mechanism there to protect people. You're right. That's weird. I never thought about that, but you're right.
It is. It's called malum in se versus malum prohibitum. Malum in se is if there's a victim, there's a crime. If I'm a cop and I'm going on the highway and someone wrecks into someone else, I come and I take a report. I get both of them's information and dispense it to the appropriate parties. If one person is dead, the other person, whether it be vehicular homicide, involuntary manslaughter, which is what Derek Chauvin should have got, by the way, not murder.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was like what do you call it when a doctor messes up? Malpractice. Malpractice. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he should have got involuntary manslaughter.
Something equivalent to that. Yeah.
So what I'm getting from this is that in order for me to fix the nation, I have to take the license plate off my car.
No.
That's
I know
that's
we're
what I've
rambling
gotten so
here.
far.
No, we're rambling, but that is interesting. Actually, I'm interested. I've always been interested by the license plate because some like my city included, they set up these cameras and they just randomly take your picture as you're driving of your license plate. Right?
Those have been found unconstitutional on multiple occasions within courts of law.
No, I agree, but it's weird because it's public photography, right?
Well, no, because if it's done on behalf of the state, it is not public photography.
No, but they are legal. They're legal here. It's going
no,
on
they
here.
are not. If you actually took it up to the court,
Are you serious?
And you challenged it on a constitutional basis, they are violating your Fourth Amendment rights.
No, I agree, but
it
I
is
was
the state.
no,
it
I
is
agree
actually
with you,
the
but
state doing that. So he's the problem. The problem is okay, and I'm gonna throw this to my man Bill Vett. I understand what you're saying. You're not exactly wrong, but you're not exactly right either, because there is too much faith in the institution of America, the corporation of America by the populace. You would have to have overwhelming populace adherence to
In other
this
words,
thought
you would have to
process.
change. In other words, you would have to change
The
the
culture.
religion called the government belief system.
Yeah.
No, hold on. So you're suggesting to change or amend the Constitution, right?
No,
No, not
actually, what he's
not you, Sparky. Not you, Sparky. This is a question for I'm sorry, Digi or
is
military?
Milvet. Yeah.
Military
Yeah, okay. Yes. For you. Because we gotta digress a little bit, right? I don't mean
Get
to
on
interrupt.
camera. Get on camera if you can too. By the way, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
wish I could. I don't know how to do that.
Whatever. We're good.
I know. It's,
Sorry, go ahead,
the
Riddle.
app,
I'm sorry I interrupted you,
the
buddy.
phone app is kind of garbage, man. The phone app.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Riddle. Good.
No, it's all good. Just I was just curious. Okay, so we were digressing. Just how? Okay, so your problem is how the police work, right? Because you were stating before that you don't like all. You said all police because they're under federal rule, right? You said all police are bad people. That's what you and Drone also agreed upon.
Yeah, I agree that all police right now are currently bad.
Are bad. Or they're just
I don't
all
say
bad.
all police.
No, I say all
I think
police
the
because-
institution has been.
Okay, so
corrupted.
Drone's retracting his agreement, and you're
Well,
still.
let me ask you this.
I'm not retracting. I think.
No, you did.
I
You,
think
you did agree.
yes,
you
I'll,
did
I'll
agree.
stick with
I
it.
don't
I'll stick
retract.
with
You
it.
did
I don't
agree with
retract.
that. Oh, you stick
I
with it.
don't
Okay,
retract.
good. Okay, great. So you're sticking with it now. So okay, so then you guys are saying all police, and I'm talking about not at a federal level. Oh, you're saying that federal since they're all federal now. But I mean
think it's
local
inherently.
police
Yeah.
inherently. Okay, so what do you mean? So how do you fix that? Like what
Okay,
is
well,
your solution?
I don't
for a
know
local,
if you
for local-
can.
for
I'm
local
really. It
police?
really baffles me. It really does when I think about it,
Well,
like just
okay,
logically.
well,
What would you without an entire tangent on all of our amendments and our laws and our
Right,
history of
right.
rule? How can you summarize that quickly enough in a couple minutes, maybe,
Yeah.
that you might be able to give a possible solution to fix this problem that we have with our local police that is supposedly controlled by our federal law enforcement?
Yeah.
How could
Well,
you fix that?
it's not federal. Well, it's not federal law enforcement, but I just think inherently
It
the
is.
position. I just think when you put humans in that position, they will inherently turn against the populace as like an
Yes.
enemy. Just because
I
like
agree.
I
I didn't
compare it
ask.
to listen. I compare it to working retail as I've done. When you work. Can you guys hear me? So like
Yeah,
when you work retail, like you start out good, right? And you're happy and you love people, but then over time, like people wear you down. Like it just like you start hating people, and like anybody that's worked retail understands what I mean. Imagine being a police officer and the elements you have to deal with like on a daily basis over time. It's just going to turn you into a tyrant. It just will.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well-
So hold on. So you're saying, just real quick, to isolate just what you said before others go on, and I don't mean to interrupt, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so your statement was police are being, tyrants because, quote unquote, tyrants. I'm going off of what you said.
Right.
Because they're being worn down mentally and emotionally.
Well, that's part of it. Another part is just total ignorance of both the law and also constitutional rights. Even though they take an oath to the Constitution and to uphold constitutional rights, which means protecting people's constitutional rights, they just don't know what they are. They don't, and in fact, a lot of them seem to think it's like a joke or some sort of abstract. In fact, a lot of police seem to think the Constitution, if you stand up for your constitutional rights, you are a sovereign citizen or some sort of extremist if you do that.
Yeah, sovereign
Even
citizen.
though they take an oath to it, they think if you stand up for your rights, you're a sovereign citizen and you're some sort of extremist. Yeah. It's
But you guys,
wild.
but you're saying that basically, in your point of view, I'm not saying directly, not quoting you, but you guys mean like that they're actually the extremists.
Well, those
because they're not following the Constitution.
Right, those individuals. Right, yeah, for sure.
But you're blanket stating all these police. So you think that all of these police?
Why is there so many? Why is it that like for the last 5 years I've seen this never-ending stream of videos of these police?
Who do you think pushes the negativity towards police?
It's not pushing a negativity. It's literally like people. Let me explain this to you.
Sure,
obviously, you haven't looked into this at all, Riddle.
Really?
But if
Are
you
you
did,
serious? I haven't looked into this at all. I haven't looked into it at all. So why would you make sense?
How can you explain this like years worth of like video of police harassing and blatantly abusing people's rights who are literally or just doing things like videoing on a public sidewalk?
I could easily explain that, dude. What are you talking about? I mean, yes, there's terrible things that happen by cops. Absolutely happens a lot. Okay, don't be wrong.
That's just like one aspect, though.
But you're saying, sure, but you're also saying, yes, you're also saying all of them. And guess what's happening right now? The more
let me ask you a question.
Hold on, stop. Let him finish. Let him finish. Stop.
Okay.
But you also have these recordings, these personal cams, right? On police officers, and who are they helping out more nowadays with these shootings?
Well, I'll tell you right now.
You don't think that there's a media push, and who do you think funds the media and has investments in the media? And you don't think the media is pushing an entire campaign against local police?
No.
Nope. You said nope.
Nope.
No, you see. So there's nothing.
Basically, it stopped.
There's nothing at all.
It stopped after Trump got out.
No. Let me explain you how the game works. And
yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, that's bullshit that you don't think.
Can I respond? Can I respond to what you said?
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you were just talking about like all cops do this and stuff. And it's like I'm not blaming all cops, but here's the issue. Here's the issue. Here's why I saw all cops in this when it comes to knowing about rights and the laws, okay? It seems like from what I've seen over the years now, this is a year this come from a guy who's like, dude, I'm a pro-police guy. You know where I'm coming from. My brother is a Marine vet.
You never once.
Okay, maybe you don't. You haven't known me that long, I guess, Riddle.
Yes, I have for years. And every time that you talk about police, it's always negatively.
Well, I had a negative run-in with him myself, and you probably know about that. I think you've done that, but
yes,
But I've always been pro. Like during the whole BLM thing, like I was always like on the side of the police through that, and I've always been a pro cop guy. But over like the last few years, I have seen more and more and more evidence, and I don't think it's racial. I've told you that. I've told everybody that. In fact, I've always said from the beginning, even when the BLM things were going on, that I thought that making it a racial thing was diverting from to fixing the issue that was there, because it like it divides focus on the issue, right? So, but what I'm saying is that there definitely is an issue. And
no, okay, so you said that like you don't think that it's about a racial issue with police. That's
right. I don't think it's a racial thing. I think it affects us all, regardless.
Okay, yes. but earlier tonight you said that there was a big racial thing with
oh no, I was saying that I would not. No, I said that I would not be surprised. Like it would not surprise me. And I think there probably is some sort of a racial element in there. Okay. Like if you look at a pie chart of the issue, right? There's like there's a cutout there that's racial, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you didn't say I wouldn't be surprised. You said that you stated it as
no. I said that. I said that. Yeah, that there is probably.
I mean, you know what?
If we have a pie chart of this, there is a slice that is racial. For sure.
Okay.
I would not doubt that, because there's so many dumb motherfuckers in the police force. There is. They're dumb. They're so dumb.
There is.
Like beyond. They're like off the charts. Dumb.
I agree. There is. There's a lot of fucking dumb people in the police force. However, your guys' take is that it's the vast majority, if not all of them, according to military vet.
Yeah, I think. So here's the thing. I think there's a lot of police who are not dumb. Okay, they're not dumb, but they have been not trained correctly. They still do not. They're ignorant of the laws. They're ignorant of constitutional rights, and they have it in their heads that if somebody stands up for the rights, One, that's a sign that there's suspicion of guilt of breaking some law or something. And two, that they're an extremist or something. Like there's something crazy about them. And a lot of cops hold that belief, even though they themselves take an oath to the Constitution. It's weird. It's this weird disconnect with the police.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird.
Hold on. So
It
Dronetek,
exists. It's real. It's definitely real.
You're a vet, and when you sworn your oath to the Constitution, did you know what you were swearing to?
I don't think most of them don't. I think they just say the words. They don't really think about it.
I think the majority of people don't know exactly what they are swearing to begin with.
They don't.
And
They
the
just
police are not trained properly. The military are not trained properly, and they want you to remain ignorant because, like we saw during the COVID times, you saw a lot of cops that were enforcing unconstitutional edicts made by mayors, governors, and things like that. Here in Oklahoma City, I had a cop tell me that since I wasn't wearing a mask, that I was violating some kind of freaking law. And I said, no, it was an unconstitutional edict passed by the mayor through executive order, and I refused to comply.
I'll approve them.
You're law enforcement, not feelings enforcement, mofo.
And he wrote me a ticket. I took it to court, and I actually got rid of it.
Nice.
But I had to fight. And
you got to. You got to flex them rights. Like a weight. We have to
I was lucky that I didn't have some basic judge that didn't see it as disrespecting his authority, and that's what you see with a lot of cops. I mean, you even see that with soldiers when an NCO tells you to do something, and you go, "I'm not going to do it." What's the first thing they do, Drone? What's the first thing they do?
If they tell you to do something, you don't do it. LOR.
Or they go, "Are you denying? Are you refusing?"
You're talking about
lawful instruction.
Oh yeah,
because they want to set you up for that Article 15. All it is, a lot of people who go into law enforcement and stuff, they sit there and they see any type of pushback as you disrespecting them. They see it as an affront to their authority, and because they see it like that, they don't give a shit about your rights.
It's like a gang. And if you're in the gang and then you start doing things that are outside of the gang's beliefs, they start making you feel like an outsider. I mean, that's just how it is. I used to scoff at the comparison of the police to gangs. Now I get it. I totally get it. I can't unsee it now.
Let me tell you a small story of how I ended up getting out of the department. We're out one night. I'm in a patrol car, and 4 other cops is already on scene. I pull up, and they're literally beating the hell out of this guy. And they could have just put him in custody for whatever it was he was doing wrong. They could have put him in custody and put him back in a patrol car. But instead, they wanted to put him on the ground, and the knees and the fist and the kicking and all that. Come to find out, the guy jaywalked. Now, when I found this out,
they do that a lot. They do that kind of stuff a lot.
When I found this out, when I found this out, I decided to write my report. Well, the chief said we all got to get together to make sure that our timelines were congruent. And I said, well, I'm not going to fabricate I'll just write what I saw. And I wrote what I saw. And of course, I got you're a blue falcon, which means buddy fucker. No, I'm not. I'm just writing what I saw. They did not submit my report because it went against the narrative. The guy was simply a jaywalker. He deserved his ass whipped. And I said, you know what? I can't work for a place like this. And when I decided after that, when I just said, well, I'm going to go into a different line of work at a Department of Correction for a while. Then the Pentagon called me up and said, we heard you speak 7 languages, and we all heard that you could shoot the net off of flies at you went to Guanaco. I said, yeah. Well, we got a job for you. So I went to Iraq. I started off working over there.
Nice, dude. Interesting. I want to talk
PSD,
to you later, by the way.
Yeah, PSD work, bodyguard work, worked security at the airport, and then when they got the dogs over there, I ended up having to do door kicking because the military sit around the corner. It was our dogs working for a company called Custer Battles of all companies. But I was working, with the dog catcher people and or the dog handlers. So I ended up being a door kicker, being the first one going into a door. Then after that job, I went over to EODT, and they said, well, we're going to use you for some of your shooting skills. And I'm the guy that shot Al Sakawi. So there you go. I was that guy. Now, I was over there 6.5 years longer than any other American in the country. I saw all kind of stuff, all kind of corruption, where our money came in through Bearing Point. I got put up on Baghdad International Airport. The Fijians are the ones that held guard. I watched all them get killed. I've lost whole entire teams. I've been out on PSD missions where my entire group got killed, but me. So I got a little bit of problems with that.
Well, really?
Yes, but here's the thing. Well, I didn't go unscathed. I've been wounded enough to where now I'm 100% disabled. But
damn, dude, I would like to hear these stories. Maybe we can have a
I
stream
would
just
love
where you
to go
tell
back
us
to
these
work.
stories. Would you like to do
When-
that
when
by
you're-
any chance?
What's that?
I said maybe we can plan another stream. We can just talk about stories of stuff you've gone through.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people said I need to write a book, or make a movie or something,
Yeah.
But
New Age book,
sounds
man.
very interesting.
well, I can tell you right now that Hillary Clinton's full of shit. I was there the day she arrived, and she wasn't in any danger whatsoever. But that's another
Really? Interesting.
Oh yeah.
What's your name?
John Pittman, Pittman. I go by
John
military
Pittman?
veteran. Yep. But and you can look up my best friend who was over there. He got killed. But at any rate,
who are you with?
well, at that time I was with EODT. We were doing PSD bodyguard. What we were doing is we would take important people, whether they be electricians or we have to take them in vehicles, up armored vehicles. Well, when I started out, up
You were
armored
with the
simply means
military bodyguard or like
I
a
was
private
contractor.
firm?
Yeah, I was just 15 contractor. That's it.
Contractor?
But yeah, contractor.
My
But
brother
we
was
would take
contractor too after I read.
Well,
All right,
contractors such like I've worked for companies like EODT, like I said, Custer Battle, BlackRock.
You were with BlackRock, huh?
Yeah, I flew in the Little Bird for a while.
Were you in Iraq? Were you in Iraq like what
Why were
years
you
were
with
you in
BlackRock?
Iraq? What
I'm
years
the,
were you in Iraq?
I'm the guy that cut BlackRock's meat down off that bridge.
Hold on, no. What years? Hold on. What years were you there?
The end of 2003 to 2009.
Okay, so you were there like during like real controversial years of BlackRock.
Do you mean Blackwater or BlackRock?
Blackwater, excuse me. Yeah, Blackwater.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Blackwater.
Makes sense now.
That's what I was.
Sorry,
Yeah, that's funny.
I was talking
That's
to somebody about,
yeah.
I was talking
Blackwater.
about somebody about BlackRock today, so it stuck in my head. BlackRock.
So you were with Blackwater,
Vanguard
huh?
Group and State Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on another channel today, so yeah.
John Pittman with Blackwater.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I worked with Chameleon for a while over there. A few groups.
Dude,
you get
like Blackwater and the area you're talking about is like some hardcore shit. That's like when it was like the hottest.
Well, the hottest at that time was Airport Road, going from the green zone from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 12. That was the hottest
I don't
area.
know what that means.
Oh, there are two checkpoints. Checkpoint 1 is where you go into the airport of Baghdad International Airport, BIOP, and then the green zone is checkpoint 12. Just when you're going in where.
So you're talking like 2007 era.
Well, no, the airport road's been there since the beginning of Baghdad. I mean, it's just a big road.
The green zone.
But it's only
how long has the green zone been there?
It's only like a 3.5 to 4 mile stretch from actual BIOP to green zone proper. But it was literally the most dangerous area. People got hit on all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah,
dude, that's cool as shit. I would love to like hear all your
yeah.
stories.
The first time I ever got shot is Operation Just Because We Want To. You ever heard of that one?
Negative.
Operation Just Cause, Panama. Emmanuel Noriega. I was working down there at that time. I was working with CID
Panama?
and DEA.
You're talking like 80s?
Yeah.
That was like late 80s, or it was like 89, 90.
Yeah, I'll be 60 years old in about 14 days.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I helped close Howard. But
you do what?
Yeah.
Hey, so
I hope-
just out of curiosity, I have family in the military. Can you like link what you were from?
I'm sorry?
Can you link where you were from within the military?
Where I was from within the military. Oh, you mean where I'm from as a civilian?
Well, You were
no.
CI.
He's just interested. He's just interested in like who you were affiliated with in the military. That's
Okay.
all.
Well, see, here's the funny part. I did go to Guanaco for sniper school, and I did get training through different languages. You know, I speak a few languages, but
where did you learn those languages out?
I was a military policeman.
Nandio Bacana.
Being a military policeman doesn't really give you the credentials to do a lot of the things that I did over there. Most of the people did things that I did, and they always made fun of me. I was like the black shadow of the group. If I got to a new company, they had Navy SEALs in there, they had Green Berets in there, they had former guys that had worked in Vietnam, and then here comes this military police guy. They're like, how did you get with this group? You know, so it was always funny that I was probably what you call the least qualified for the work that I did over there. And
where did they send you? You said you speak seven languages, and that's actually pretty interesting. Where did what institution they send you to for that?
Nothing. I just love language.
Even
though I sound like
that makes sense. I mean, you
I
gotta
mean,
have a love. You gotta have a
so.
love for it to know that, right? You gotta have some sort of like extraordinary interest in that to know seven languages.
Actually, I found out that people who have a problem with reading and writing in English usually have a better understanding of other languages. They learn other languages extremely quick. You get these people in learning disability classes, they can't spell in English, is because the way that the brain operates, they look at a word like, how do you spell, you know, city? Shouldn't that be an S? No, it's a C. Okay. Sometimes Y. What is that? The English language is tore up. But because the brain thinks so precise in other languages, like Spanish, if you can say the alphabet, you can learn to speak it quickly. The same in German. If you can read it, you can write it. You can speak it. The languages don't differentiate like English does. English is literally the hardest language in the world to learn.
More than French?
I would argue.
I thought it was Mandarin. I thought Mandarin
Yeah,
was
Mandarin and Cantonese are probably the two hardest.
because Chinese
But
has
that's for
individual
reading.
symbols for every different
Yeah,
word.
there's like over 2,000. There's like 2,000 characters for every word, and
Yeah, I don't speak Mandarin, but I don't think I'd have a problem learning it though. I mean, it's just symbols and signs, you know. I mean, the Korean's pretty simple. Mandarin couldn't be that much different.
You know what? You sound like a badass. Okay, so you know what you remind me of? What's that one guy?
This guy is super interesting. I'm like,
yeah, I know, super interesting. Yeah, I agree. He's interesting. So I'm interested in this. So like, you know what you remind me of is what's his name from what's it called? That one TV show that came out like 5-6 years ago. Karate Kid. Oh yeah, Cobra Kai. Yeah, you remind me of that one sensei that came back in like season 2 or 3 from Vietnam, all traumatized. He was a badass. What was his name?
I don't consider myself a badass. I consider myself fucking lucky.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, what's his name? What's his name again?
I'm not sure.
We're gonna name him John.
John Kreese.
Kreese.
Are we
yes,
being, are
there
we
it is,
being
yeah.
punked here? Are we being
We have a John Kreese amidst us. We should be lucky. We should only be lucky.
Look, when I was over there one time, I was the driver of a vehicle, and a brand new guy, and this guy was roided out. I wanted to do roids, but I couldn't afford them. My wife back in the States was spending all my money faster than I could freaking make it. But this guy was roided out, new weapons and arms like you would believe. He could tell you anything about any part on almost any weapon. He was amazing at his craft, his field. He knew exactly what he was going to do. One day, we're in a car, we're driving, we're taking clients. They were working for Sunnyside, I think is the name of the company. It was an electric company, and we were going down to Sedoon. That's just on the other side of the green zone. And we got hit, but how we got hit was all I heard was a little, that's all I heard. I'm driving, and I looked over, and he slumped over in his seat. Now, this guy was prepared for anybody and anything. A little bullet came through the window and right there, and we had bulletproof glass, but it came through at the point of where that seal was between the passenger window and then the front window, that bar that goes down. A bullet went through that part and caught him right in the eye, slumped over dead in hell.
Can I?
So it
Can
didn't
I
matter
show?
how much. So it didn't matter how much preparing you were, didn't matter how good you were. If death's coming for you, that's it. That I got back to the States and my aunt's like, well, I prayed and prayed and prayed and you made it. I'm like, well, there's a lot of people that prayed. My roommate that I had for 8 months, his family of 3 children, his wife, they were Christian going. They went to church every day. I'm sure they prayed for their husband. He's dead in hell. It's a crapshoot. All it is you roll the dice every day. Roll the dice. There are no heroes.
I'll show you guys a real life example of that here as soon as I can find it here. But yeah, I just saw a video today of a drone recording a Russian trench, and this dude is in the trench, and he pops his head up, and next thing he just like slumps over. It's like a sniper shot.
You don't want to show that don't show that on YouTube.
I'm not going to show it, but I'm just saying like that's what it is. It's I can't find it.
But don't get me wrong.
It's like a drone looking down, right? The guy pops up over the trench. You see the explosion out the back of the helmet, and he just slumps over. It's like that's just how it is.
Don't get me wrong. This guy wasn't a bragger. He didn't talk a big game or anything. He just was a big game. You know what I'm saying? The 315, 31-inch waist kind of guy.
Yeah, like what's his face in the Afghanistan war who got killed by friendly fire? Tillman.
Pat Tillman.
Pat Tillman. Yeah. So I mean,
basically, Conan
Pat Tillman earned that
in real life, and then he gets
Pat
killed by friendly
Tillman
fire.
earned that.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these stolen valor guys. I hate those guys, and I don't think I'm a Billy Badass. I used to at one time run. I thought I was going to be in the marathon. I thought I was going to go to the Olympics till Jimmy Carter boycotted them. I was getting ready to go to nationals to compete. I was just close to going under a 4-minute mile, and we never had an opportunity to go.
Who is this man? This is like an interesting person we have here.
He's a $6 million man, is what he is.
Is this a real person? Or are we dealing with mental illness here?
No, but the thing about it is now I get tired walking up a flight of steps. I'm 60 years old, man. I got nothing to prove to anybody. I had a good life. I had a good run.
Dude, you got 20 or 30 more years left. Don't talk like that.
Well, maybe.
I wish I could say that.
Yeah. I hope I got 2 more years left.
You
know what I'm saying?
You got, sure you're going to be like.
I mean, I'm getting back into working out. I'm getting back into running.
30 more years?
But
man.
But we don't know.
Oh, yeah. Fucking work out.
But we don't know.
It.
Don't get me wrong. I don't consider myself unhealthy, but we don't know if we got tomorrow morning. You know what I mean?
No, but I like to project myself another like good 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years,
Damn. No, I would never want that. My so my grandmother, she turned 105 this year, and love her to death. Wonderful woman.
Hello, gorgeous.
Godly woman. But she's miserable because she has no peers. Where she lives, she lives in an assisted living home because, of course, she finally, moved out of her house at 102, moved into the assisted living home so she could be cared for better. The closest person to her age is 25 years junior, and that's got to be like insanely just sad.
But friends don't have to be the same age. If you have companions, it can be depressing that you're the oldest one around, but I don't think it means
no. But you can't. I'm talking about someone that lived through the Great Depression and stuff like that,
Dude,
and no one understands no one understands that point of view around her and things like that. So it has to be lonely. It has to be isolating. And I mean, I love her to death, and I want nothing but the best for her. But in all reality, she's not a very happy woman.
If her mind and her body are good, then that's awesome.
Well, I mean, she's legally blind. She lost most of her hearing probably in the early 2000s. She lost her smell in the 80s. I mean, she's just going on sheer willpower.
Right now, blind and deaf doesn't sound so bad.
Well, hey guys, I'm just gonna jump in here real quick and end the stream because we've been going for almost 3.5 hours, and we're kind of trailing off here. And hey, I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna stay here, and I encourage everybody that's watching right now in the channel, go ahead and join us. We'll continue this for a while, but I'm gonna end the stream. Anybody that wants to do any plugs or anything, I welcome you to do that now.
I have a plug actually. Yeah.
Turn the camera off first.
Oh God, he's gonna plug the. Okay, go ahead.
You're a liberal.
I'm a liberal. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you're a liberal. When it comes to police, you're a liberal for sure.
I am.
That's a
Oh
good,
yeah.
You
for
know
sure.
what?
Hey, can I
good.
say something
That's
before we
a,
get
Okay.
off on
that's
the
what
police
through
topic
the
real quick?
Discord. Come
You
on.
are.
I'm a classic
Smoke, your
liberal. I
mic's
never
your
deny
mic's
that actually.
smoke
So
bad,
okay.
dude.
May I
It's
say
okay.
something about the police thing real quick? When I say that there are no good cops, let me explain that real quick. I'll wrap it up on that. Reason to say that is simply this. When you join the police, I believe a lot of good guys join the police for good reasons. Like a lot of good people join the military for good reasons, but not all are heroes. A lot of guys that join the military for things like school. They join things for, for the benefits that it would get them.
Yeah.
A lot of guys join the military because they got in trouble with the law, and that's an ultimatum. Go join the military, go to prison. But the thing is when it comes to cops, none of this could be transpiring what we see that's going on right now if there were a lot of good cops. I mean, it just simply comes down to that. The institution itself has been so corrupted. If I was a cop in there right now, I'd be trying to fight with every single one of them every day. I'd be arresting cops left and right. That's not happening. It's just simply not happening. You want to find a good cop? It's like finding Waldo. Look at all the videos that's going on. All the guys that's doing these First Amendment audits or Second Amendment audits. Spot the good cop. I'm not saying that I haven't seen one or two, but
Yeah.
that's it. I've
Those
watched thousands of
auditors.
videos and I've seen one or two.
Yeah, those auditors have really exposed that most of our public officials are completely ignorant of both the law and constitutional rights. They know nothing about them. And they almost think that if you do know about them, that makes you some sort of threat or suspicion to them. It's weird. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's like no one puts them in check. It's human nature. It's absolutely human nature. I live in the countryside where I don't have my own trash dump here, so I got to go dump it at a centralized facility where they got these bays. So when I drive up, these guys that's working at the trash dump, I mean, they're just there to make sure that the trash is off the ground. They take that thing and that authority to an infinite level. I hate going to the trash dump because then they'll go through your trash and make you put this in this bin and that in that bin and this in this bin.
What
and
state
then
do
I
you live
asked
in?
them, I said, well, where's all this going? To that same place where it all gets put in the same hole. But you give them a little bit of power and they want to roughshot it.
Okay, what state do you live in?
I live in North Carolina.
I
me
love
too,
going
buddy.
to I love going to the dump, man.
But I
Call
mean,
me
it's human-
crazy, but
But it's
I'm up
human
near
nature.
Sparta, brother.
What's that?
I'm up
We
near
ha-
Sparta.
Oh, there you
Sparta?
Yeah, Sparta. Elkins.
I don't know that.
Well, damn. I just want to plug real quick before we go into it for this server. Upcoming on Sunday, January 21st at 8:30 p.m., we are having a music trivia night. We had a lot of fun last time, and I invite you all to come. You only get you don't win like a cash prize, but like you look real cool if you
It
win.
was a lot of fun.
That's
Yeah,
10
last
days
draw.
away, bro. That's 10 days. You got nothing sooner to plug?
We have next Thursday. We have Saturdays. I don't have anything sooner than that because people need to give me ideas.
All right, okay.
The Saturday music.
Wait, you
Well,
mean
I do-
ideas for trivia night or?
No, just any events that people want to have. I will work with the vet to set up another day in the future if he wants to spend time talking story, and people can enjoy that if Dronetek wants to stream it.
I would
Sure.
love to listen to that.
So me too.
I may have sounded like an overachiever earlier, but when I'm ignorant about something, I'm absolutely totally ignorant about it. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I can build a computer. I've built 2 of them right now, but I don't know the first thing about the equipment that I'm going to need. Well, right now, I'm not even on a camera here. If one of you guys could help me, I'd like to start my own show. I really
we
would.
got your back. This Discord server will be good for that. You just ask questions and people will help you out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've never been on Discord server before, so I got to
I
go.
will help. I will help you out.
I would appreciate the hell out of it because I mean I'm looking at getting a Rode system as far as microphones. I want to get the Rode Master 2, I think it's called, 2 Pro, and I want to get about 4 Rode microphones. I plan on doing a sit-in, kind of like the way they do with that channel whatever or Joe Rogan or something like that. We get 4 or 5 guests to sit. And I'm also I'm looking at what kind of camera system I'm going to need. I don't really want to go with the webcam thing, a Logitech. I'm thinking more like a couple of digital SLR cameras and a hookup with a capture card. You know what I mean?
You're talking about a $3,000 to $5,000 setup, man.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Make sure those cameras have will run on cords. Some of them stupidly only run on the battery, and they don't have like supplementary power when you plug them in. It's an important thing if you're going to run long streams. And also, obviously, you want to get digital microphones that are like probably with USB connectors.
No.
I would think no.
Digital is terrible. It's actually better to run analog for audio. It runs cleaner, has less problems, doesn't cause problems with the computer because it's less stress on the computer. I was running digital for the longest, and now I run XLR for audio, and it works so much better.
I have a question.
My hobby is digital graphics. I like doing 3D graphics. I work with things like Maya, Blender, and Mudbox and stuff like that. I'm an artist, but since I'm not working anymore, I got to have something to do, right? I'd like to go back to work. And people say, "Well, I'd love a day and time where you don't have to work anymore." Trust me, you don't.
No,
you don't get that.
You got to have a purpose in life.
It takes the meaning out of living. It does. It zaps you real. I don't think I've aged any more than I have since the time I stopped working. It comes on you quick. You got to keep busy. You got to keep moving. But so I do a lot of artwork and stuff, and I'm not unknown to computers. It's just trying to get. I hear music.
Thanks, nerd.
I do a lot of digital art. If you're really serious in the digital art, you may want to get a touch sensitive screen.
Okay. Oh, I have that.
Utilize I utilize Photoshop for a lot of stuff.
Yep.
I even do animations. So.
Really? We got to get together then. I'll show you some of my work. But but the thing is I'm having trouble picking out which digital SLRs that I want. That's one. I know I want the Rode system, and then I got to figure out how I'm going to set it up. I got 2 computers that I've set up now. One of them has a dual 4090 system. You know, the 4090 NVIDIA 4090 graphics cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's 128 gig of RAM. It'll pretty much push anything.
Wait, is it overclocked with TI or what?
Say again.
Is it overclocked with TI? Is it overclocked?
He probably doesn't run it overclocked.
You mean TI the rapper?
I don't overclock my systems. I don't overclock them. Now are they
Okay,
got a lot of power to them.
so no.
I use a lot of RGB.
Is it 4090? You said 4090, right?
I have a dual 4090, and I have that's one of the computers I got.
4090 Ti. So
yep.
Let's see.
So about a $3,000.
So what do you at your age? You have that.
This is what I was trying to get to. All right, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up right now. I appreciate you all watching. It's been going on for about 3.5 hours now. I am ready to go to sleep. I still have like lots of stuff to do. I gotta get up early. You all know my whole thing. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I got a bunch of kids to wrangle every day. It's getting late. I gotta get to bed. But I appreciate you all watching. The link for the Discord is in the description. If you'd like to support me or come to our Discord, I really appreciate both. And make sure to keep checking back for new videos. Thanks for watching.